Welcome to the Trophyz and Medalz podcast, where we discuss sports, fashion, music, and entertainment. Where trophies are temporary and medals are forever. What side are you on?
Welcome back to the Trophyz and Medalz podcast with your boy Batman with the Ebb-Tide crew. We got Jimmy Rover Show and Ebb-Tide King in the building. What's good, fellas?
Good.
All right, we back from a little hiatus. Getting back in the swing of things. Got a lot to cover today. We had an interview with two USFL football players from the Michigan Panthers. We're going to talk NBA playoffs. Bash Tony Love on his Florida State takes as far as their basketball players, as well as what is the hardest position in the NFL. But first thing first, let's jump in. I know we're kind of late, but being, we have multiple Saints fans, I kind of wanted to hear the opinion on this. The whole Tom Brady, I'm a retire. I'm going to come back as an owner for the Dolphins. I'm going to hire my boy Peyton, and then I'm going to unretire and play again. Is he doing too much? Is it that serious at this point in your career?
My first question. Wait, hold on a second. My first question is, has all of this been validated? Because this seems like a pretty elaborate plan. Like this is some Mission Impossible. Like I feel like some people got to drop from the ceiling on wires to kind of get this, because that's a lot, bro.
It's been a few people that I went sought out and listened. Like not they quote on Facebook and Instagram. Like they said in interviews, like nah, I did my research and this stuff actually checks out. So it's.
Feel like you just
but it's still too much. It's still sound like Mission Impossible type of thing.
Right. Like you got to get the owner to agree to sell the team first of all. Like goddamn.
Right.
It wouldn't have been a full ownership. It would have been like some, partial or whatever.
Yeah,
like
but he's already.
Even then,
he's already starving enough. You want him out the picture. You will want that cat completely out the picture.
Well, the owner is a Michigan guy. The owner is a Michigan guy.
Oh, okay.
That's why. That's part of the
okay.
Guy. Because remember, he was the same owner that was saying, "Oh, I don't want Jim Harbaugh because, I don't want to take him away from Michigan."
Right. Okay. Good call. That is true. This is true. I still don't. I don't like the dude and trust him at all. As is, he's right under. I say he's fourth in the pecking order of owners that need to lose a team for sure.
Snyder.
Snyder, Detroit. The Ford family needs to lose Detroit. Like, for real. Like, it got to be pulled for some, I don't know. They've been there too goddamn long. And then San Diego is number 3.
Why? Well, LA. Why the Chargers?
Dude.
Coach selections, what?
They're just the years of all the consistent, they stumble upon and got it right with Hubert, but it's like they still the Chargers ownership. You left San Diego when you had your own entity, you had your own world, you had your own
to move in with somebody else.
Yeah, they move it. Yeah, like the Clippers. You just made yourself the new Clippers of LA. Like, why do that? Like, that's just dumb. So
like the exact carbon copy, because the Clippers was in San Diego as well.
So let me ask you something. Question.
Mm-hmm.
If you were living with Precious and Rihanna said you can come live with me.
Okay. I get what you say. Hey, we
but ASAP get to hit it once a week.
Like, I get the method of what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you say.
Look, you got unlimited range every other day of the week. You can have threesomes, like whatever you want. Is just do it.
That's LA. That's LA.
Yes, that's
just
LA.
One day.
The LA money too.
One day, ASAP get the hit.
Once a month.
One day out the week.
Week or month?
One day out the week.
It's still the same. I get what you're saying, though. God damn, that's a great enough. That's a good way of pointing it out, yo. Like,
you won't find breakdowns like this anywhere else
exactly
on the podcast universe.
Yeah, I had nothing else to say on that. I said, that's a good one. That's a hard one. Yeah,
because it's kind of like I might get back through that.
You make sense.
Yeah, you make it too much sense. Like, but you don't want to be put on blast to be exposed for making this bad decision. But it's a good bad decision to make. So that's what it is at the end of the day. Moving to LA is a good bad decision.
Because it's one of them days where it's just like, oh man, you let that nigga smash your old lady once a week. Yeah, but do you see what we do them other days? I'm all right with it.
You gotta see the bigger picture.
Yeah, you just mad because you ain't over here getting this.
Yeah, like remember, like she's still a billionaire, my nigga. Like it's still a billion.
Mm-hmm.
And LA is LA compared to San Diego. Touche. Say no more. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. But I still, okay. Well, I will, okay then. But I will put Miami over San Diego. The Chargers now. I will put my. We will change. Yeah, we will change it now.
Power rankings change.
You know what that's called? That's growth.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Yeah, when somebody brings up a great point, you have to be man enough to admit it has to change. So that's a good call.
Now we could just get your mans with these 32 teams playoffs.
Exactly.
We just get your mans.
Yeah, we ain't getting that kind of growth. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That growth ain't happening. He's so ignorantly stuck on that stupid shit. It is what it is. I give up. You saw how gratefully bowed out. Like I don't want to see no fucking 32 teams, and I ain't watching 32 motherfucking teams. You got me all at 16. You got me at 16.
It's a higher plane of enlightenment you have to reach where your mind takes over for the body.
Yes, 16 makes so much more sense. Fuck a 32. 32 is just greedy.
Hey,
but
white collar crime, man.
Yeah.
Yes, to the highest. Yeah.
So moving on from Brady trying to get his Madden on. The moves that were made earlier in this offseason with wide receivers being dealt and re-signing for bigger deals is now triggering those reactions from those younger wide receivers that are emerging year 2, year 3, year 4 guys. Even a guy like Cooper Kupp, where he recently got a semi upgrade like 2 years ago, but it's time for him to really secure that bag.
Right.
Of course, the media is already attacking them. Oh, they being, divas and this and that and the other. But if you see the market change and you got a deal coming up,
moment. You got to seize the moment.
Why not? Especially when you're not making guaranteed money.
That's what I was just about to say. That's why you got 2-bedroom, 1-bath houses in Lafayette going for $500,000. Right, like the market dictates what the market dictates. Yesterday's prices
is not today's
prices.
And that happens.
And you can't blame them for taking advantage of it, because every position, if you notice in the NFL, you got a window for every position where every position is going to be valued, and you got maybe about somewhere maybe a 10-year run of where if you don't get in on this, it moves on to another position, right? Because it's either the position you're trying to score with or the position you're trying to stop somebody to score with, right? And it just depends on where you're going at it with it. So, when it's that time, when the market dictates that, this is what I can get.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah,
gotta strike. Yeah. And you think it's bad right now. We just seen the younger cats. Man. We got Cincy Dallas.
What I'm about to say, the Jamar Chases and the Jeffersons.
Right. Jefferson. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you got them two alone is a problem where it's gonna
especially
get
with
bad
Jamar Chase being drafted. Well, he went number 5.
Something like
yeah.
that.
Top 10. Well, we know he went
top 10.
Yeah. So like you gotta, and he got the production to match. So only thing with that, he got a 5-year deal. So he got a different.
But it's gonna get worse. But it's good. But it got a time frame. But it's gonna be bad when it's his time, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's going to be bad when it's his time.
With AJ Brown being taken in the second round, and you can get to that because the perfect scenario is to re-up early. That way, you can get a second payday at it's still in your prime, and then you can, if you get another one, then you're playing with house money. But you want to try to get your best to. Kind of like Kawhi Leonard did with basketball. It's like he was taking those shorter deals because he's like, okay, I'm gonna take, I'm at 27 now. I'm gonna take a 2-year, 3-year deal, and then I'm gonna re-up again. I'm gonna still be in my prime and I still be able to demand the max. So it's just not checkers.
But also Kawhi again market, right? Because threes right now in the NBA, or at least they're kind of phasing out a little bit now, but the threes was a big market, right? The KDs, the LeBrons, Paul George, right? Like the threes, that was what you had to have, swingman, right? Big guy that can handle the ball.
So now you got to pay for him. You got to think about it. Not even at the top tier. You can think back. You can think at like some of the lesser dudes, like Aaron Gordon was getting money. And I'm watching that game. Who else is a lower tier guy? Like Richard Jefferson was still getting money in his old age.
Even Jeff Blake was getting the check.
Jeff Blake was making.
So it's a situation where you got to, like you said, understand the market, understand things gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Which I know the owners don't always like that, but. That's about winning and spending that money because they'd be like, okay,
right. But San Fran got a lot of nerds that want to be cheap all of a sudden. When your man is your offense, that's their whole offense.
Well, with Debo, I heard what Debo said is he was saying is there's only a couple people know why I want to be traded, and like the immediate assumption is how you being used, or you want to get out of. That's you want to move home or move to a different market.
I feel like because it seems to be a real hard focus that he wants to be a wide receiver.
Yeah, because he wants wide receiver money.
But what I feel, this is a Jimmy Graham situation. Where he was a tight end in name, so you had to pay him based on the tight end scale. But you're being utilized. That's what I mean.
He could do all three.
They want to put him at a running back so they can pay him at a running back scale, which is declining, versus trying to pay him at a wide receiver, which is because they know they're gonna have to come. It's gonna have to be guaranteed money one, and it's when we talking about 3 figures, right? It's at least 100 and something at least.
But see, the thing is, what don't make sense to me, regardless of what position you try to scale him at, he is the engine that make y'all go.
Right.
So you like with Jimmy Graham, for example. Jimmy Graham was nice with the Saints, but guess what?
Yeah,
that truck kept on moving without him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with you potentially getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, you got Elijah in the backfield. You potentially got a young Trey Lance. The engine is Debo. Even if Jimmy G is there, it's still on Debo and Kittle's.
But he plays 3 positions though. But he plays 3 positions. That's the problem.
But
that makes him even more effective.
He your first, your last, your everything.
Yes.
But the biggest thing you got to factor in with the Jimmy Graham versus the Debo situation is they had just won a Super Bowl without Jimmy Graham, right? Like, so you came here and
came to greatness.
Yeah, Debo, hey, it's been a while since we've been there.
Yeah, he's trying to get you there. Yeah, he's trying to get you there, or at least keep you competitive enough where
you can make a push when you're in that position. You can make a push to say, well, oh no, like y'all ain't winning this long to where then now your fans are like you said, they're clamoring, all right? Like just give him whatever he wants. Like When you ain't won in a while, you get that kind of desperate.
What Eddie Murphy said?
You ain't had a cracker.
Low crackers.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, that shit. It's gonna get crazy and shit. I mean, it's not going to settle down until after the draft because you still got potential draft day trades. Teams that might be might have the capital to make a trade might just decide, you know what, I'm gonna take the young cat and just get something at a cheaper scale and this and that because it's a lot of receivers coming out. But it's
outside of that, Jarvis hasn't signed, Odell hasn't signed.
Yeah.
It's like 2 or 3 other wide receivers, top name wide receivers that haven't signed out. So it's like, look, and look, Terrell Owens is kicking ass over in the fan football league or whatever it is. Him and Johnny Manziel over there kicking ass. So hey, you never know, right? T.O. come back. So you can get a wide receiver.
Right. There's plenty. Yeah, that's like you said, that's the bad part. There's too many wide receivers in the game too. On top of that, with a deep draft, it makes a lot of sense. So your market does make it difficult. The market is not good for receivers right now.
Chris Kirk got the bag from the Jaguars, and he was like the number 4 option for the Cardinals. So he got like 70-something mil. So I mean, that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just the top dogs getting money; it's everybody getting money.
Right.
For all of you that were old enough to take free enterprise, this is capitalism right here. This is what we call it.
Right.
Free market society. Look at its finest. You hear me? Look.
With that being said about wide receivers making all that money, who gonna stop these wide receivers? You know what I'm saying? Teams passing 50-40 times a game. Marlon Humphrey of the Ravens was saying playing the cornerback position is the hardest thing in football. Now, some people have been saying this for years. I think it's even more so now with these pass happy offenses. And you can't really put your hands on them or tee off on the receivers like you used to in, say, like the 80s or the 90s.
90s. Right.
I mean, is there really any competition for it? I know playing quarterback, you're consuming a lot of information as far as play calling and stuff like that. But but
you got the protection. You got the protection you safe as a quarterback. You just need protection. Honestly, you got enough protection. That's why the cornerback position is the hardest because you don't know where the fuck you going. You have to freaking literally got to sit there and figure out where the hell I'm going to around here keep in check of everybody. So that's why I feel like the cornerback position is the most difficult because you literally are on an island. Unless if you're playing zone, then it kind of protects you a little bit if your skill sets. But if you are a straight up man-to-man cover guy, you are on an island. You just got to figure out which way this receiver gonna go. And your reaction time has to be even just as quick as a quarterback's reaction of throwing the ball, seeing a man
anticipation.
Anticipate exactly.
I am a little biased.
Sure.
I think it's a tie. It's kind of like a 1A, 1B. So I'll do 1A quarterbacks, but 1B middle linebackers and Mike linebackers, most specifically, I guess. And I say that only if, depending on how your defense is structured, because there are some defenses where the Mike linebackers are essentially the quarterbacks of the defense. So I not only need to know what
I'm supposed to
be doing. What I'm supposed to be doing, but what everybody else is supposed to do on my side, but also on the offense as well, right? So I'm calling out different plays. Exactly, motions, right?
All that. That's a good call. Good call.
Yeah, that's a good call. That is definitely a good call too.
But again, I'm a little biased.
I'm gonna say because I mean I wasn't cool in high school with our linebackers per se. It was a white boy that played Samson. You remember Samson? He was our middle linebacker, which he was a freak of nature, but I wasn't really cool with him, like talking about. So I didn't, I don't got no inside information as far as how they play and stuff. But like the defensive line, receiver, quarterback, running back, all that shit, I understand and respect it because I hear them coming from practice cussing and fussing.
Oh yeah,
bullshit. I'm sick of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like You know what I'm saying? Alex coming from practice talking about I'm 180 pounds. What the fuck I'm doing playing strong safety? Talking about seal the edge.
Because like TJ said, like sometimes you get these coaches, dog, and they don't understand, like, hey, my G, like just us bashing into each other ain't really helping us, you know what I mean? On a Thursday, we got to play Friday, right? Like,
right, yeah.
I understand what you're trying to do. You got a point, but
we got to take a break sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, but I didn't think about the middle linebacker because the thing, not even just that. I also think about how you play. So whether you got to stop the run, you got to, depending on the packages, you got to blitz, get to the quarterback, and you got to pay. Sometimes if you play cover 2, you got to play that deep zone. You know what I'm saying? So you sometimes chasing down wide receivers and or tight ends. So that is up there. That is up there.
But even with that, depending on how your defense is structured, you not only have to then call out your assignment, but then call out other people's assignment as well, right? Like, pick up, whatever. Pick up flanker. Yeah. Somebody get the X, right? Like, you calling it out, right? So I don't know. Like I said, I understand quarterback is a difficult position. It is a vulnerable position, but I tend to believe middle linebacker kind of puts you in that same position too. Because when all hell breaks loose, middle linebacker, you just there, right?
Yeah,
you just on that island, like literally you're on an island, right? Because everybody else goes wherever else, and shit just zooming in front of you, behind you, and you just got to read all of it, and hope that quarterback don't sell you on his eyes.
And I think we talked about this in the past too, maybe a couple of years back, but that also goes into the quote unquote racism of football, when they used to say, black players can't play those middle positions. So quarterback, middle linebacker, and safety, because of the responsibilities of that, trying to say we ain't smart enough to do that, this and that and the other. But like you said, it is a lot on the plate, and like you said, that's typically is your leaders.
True, and but remember Peyton Manning kind of cleared it up when it came to Ray Lewis. He said he said it didn't make no sense how well he knew our plays better than us.
Son, we all hear the stories about Lawrence Taylor being like passed out in the fucking meeting underneath the table. They cut the light on. He gets up and tell them everything that he just said. The shit don't change, right? It is what it is, Brian. Once you have that,
once you got it, you got it.
But not only that, but also I think they take football players or even just athletes in general, and you look at what they do in the classroom and try to equate it to their intelligence a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that they're not intelligent. It's not that they're not smart. It's not that they're not capable. They're just not fucking interested in it. Yeah. Like, it's just not it. They're interested in football. So every angle, every aspect, every corner, inch, whatever it is that they have to learn, they're going to soak it all up in order to be better at it. Same thing with basketball. Like, sometimes I hear people break down, like, so I got 7 good shots, right? And they're all on different spots of the floor. So if I can get to these 7 different spots, I can shoot this for 2. I can get this. I can get a layup here, break it down to where it's like, I forgot who it was that broke it down. It's like, where you can average 30 points a game or some shit like that, right?
Saying, I want to average 20. I want to get 4,
all I got to do is get 4 to 5 shots. It's like, even to break it down like that shit. Or even to hear LeBron talk, like in the post-game interview. Yeah, just memorize the whole play, like ran it down to you exactly how the shit happened. Right? You can't say these dudes not intelligent. They just don't give a shit to learn the other stuff.
With football, think about this. Think about football with this. So like for example, my son knows nothing about football. So like I be playing bad and he don't even understand the X and O because he just don't know football. He just all he knows is basketball. Period. So think about how much of that, like the layers of information. So like you can dumb it down. The quarterback drops back, throw it to the open guy. You can just make it that simple. That's just the basics, right? But then there's really levels to that shit. Okay, you dropping back. Okay, what is the mic doing? What is my pass protection? What is the route combination? If the read is here, I'm gonna throw to the hook. If the read is here, I'm gonna throw to like it's so much layers of, like you said, of intelligence that goes into it. It separates the talent pool. You can have your physical talent, but you got to have that mental talent.
And that's where it gets separated. Because
right.
like TJ was saying, at the NFL level, everybody know how to tackle. Right, everybody
why we still practicing tackle?
Yeah, right. Everybody know how to do
to get hurt.
Everybody run a 4.4. Everybody can bench press 300 some pounds. Like everybody doing it up here. That's not the difference. Is again, can you then take that mental aspect of the game? One, memorizing and being able to then regurgitate plays, but then also being able to handle, well, if it don't go right, how do you react?
What's the read?
Right.
And that was my thing when I was coaching AAU, is like, well, just basketball in general nowadays, you don't really run too much structured plays. It's all based off read and react. It's all motion.
Read, right.
Now, if you find a mismatch, you got a fucking 6'10" center in high school, and they got a baby on them. Then it's like, get the fuck out the way, give it to the big fella. You know what I'm saying?
the Zion Williams "White Lives Matter" don't matter, or "White Lives Don't Matter" 50.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go murder him, or if they get a switch on your point guard with the chubby boy that plays D tackle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get out the way. But it's a whole, it's read and react type stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Like I was telling my son and his friend that yesterday. It's like, you can take one move and make 10 moves out of it based off of how the defense plays you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like you gotta have that imagination and that thought process. And like you said, you can make it dumb. It's like catch the ball, shoot, score.
Dude, but when they say a route tree,
that's
it is a drug. I'm telling you, dog. There are so many different combinations, and it's basically it's like 6 basic routes, something like 6 to 8 different routes, but different variations, right? That you're doing out of that route, right? Oh man, and then doing it at different levels. Maybe it's a 5-yard route, maybe it's an 8-yard, 10-yard, whatever it is, right? So you're doing it at different levels, so that makes it an even number, bro. Yeah,
that's why I kind of look at corner. That's why I look at corner as like really, because that's traumatizing to just sit there. You don't know when this nigga gonna cut on you. You don't know which direction. Your reaction has to be so on point, and your confidence has to be then on a whole nother level. Because nigga gonna catch on you, they gonna get you, but you gotta like literally forget all about that and go back out there and do it again.
The only thing I can say with corner is I feel like that is one of those positions where if you are athletic enough, you can recover. Survive. Yeah. Yes. Like, I mean, we see that with Eli Apple, right?
Hey, I got beat. I can use my speed to get back.
Yeah, that 4.2 speed that I got to recover, and just put just enough, it's like we said, the ball go 20 yards over the receiver head, the cornerback.
Yeah.
So, right. You know what I mean? Like you one of them dudes, right?
Zone.
Yeah.
All right. So I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying with the Yeah,
but it is a hard position. I ain't gonna lie, because again, you are just kind of like you're playing a guessing game every route, right? And you never know.
I know.
And even then, there's always that one play where he's not running the route; he's just running at you to put you on your ass. So
this is all I gotta say. They was trying to make me play safety. I was terrified just from practice, from the receivers we had on the team. So I don't know what the district was like as far as wide receiver. I mean, outside of my school, outside of East St. John, like Dutch-Train had some good receivers too. But yeah, I wouldn't. Well, yeah, y'all did too. So yeah, I wasn't trying to. Yeah, I wasn't trying.
Yeah, it wasn't. That wasn't a play. That wasn't for play. Not in the River Parish. Because talent-wise, that's where you're putting everybody at receiver. Mm-hmm. If you fast and got somewhat of decent hands, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I remember shout out my homie Brad. We were stacked at receiver. They found they made him an A-back number 2. You remember Brad? They were like, okay, we're gonna play in the backfield, kind of like Debo. Put you in the backfield, put you a tight end, have you return kicks, put you in the
Kind
slot.
of like Kerry.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So
like,
yeah.
it was a situation, like you said, you put your best athletes at that position, and it's coming back. Because I think in the past, you put your best athlete at quarterback. All right, welcome back to the Trophyz and Medalz podcast. This week we got something special for y'all. We got 2 members of the Michigan Panthers of the USFL. We have T.J. Carter and Terry Myrick. Is it Myrick or Myrick? Myrick. Sorry about that. So welcome to the show. We're going to have a few questions for you, but before we get started, it's something that we do with all of our guests. With us being from New Orleans, we want to know how 504 are you? Get a feel for your energy and your mindset for our fans. So first question up, New Orleans Saints or New Orleans Pelicans?
Pelicans.
Saints.
Got you. I thought it would be the other way around.
Oh, I know what Texas.
You're from Georgia, right?
I'm a Falcon fan, so I gotta go with the Pelicans.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I was waiting on that. Cash money or no limit?
No limit.
Who's your favorite no limit
Cash
rapper?
money.
I like Soldier Slim.
Okay, good answer. I was about to say that's y'all kind of young for that, but you know what I'm saying. But that's a good answer. Rest in peace, Slim. And TJ, you said Cash Money.
Yeah, man, gotta go with Wayne.
That's your favorite hot boy. That was the next question. Who's your favorite hot boy?
Shit, I only know Wayne.
See, yeah, y'all too young for that. You know what I'm saying? That's my.
I don't even know all the motherfuckers.
Don't nobody show Turk love.
I'm about to say, shit, is he still in jail? I mean, come on. Yeah, so BG still in jail too. So next up, last one, seafood gumbo or seafood boil?
Gumbo.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
See, y'all don't get that much out here in Georgia though. Unless y'all got somebody.
Yeah, juicy crab.
Nah, they ain't the same, dog.
Juicy crab goes crazy.
Nah, I'm gonna have to get y'all to the crib one day and let y'all get the real deal.
I had some Katrina survivors that they moved by me and they did like a boil one time, and that was like some real Louisiana cooking. That was like the first time I had some real like authentic Louisiana cooking. So I not had one before, but I like gumbo for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, because my brother-in-law, he stayed on y'all side, like by Aunt. That's how I met Aunt, through my brother-in-law. But all right, that's what's up. So let's get to the football part of things. So TJ, formerly of Kentucky, you played defensive line. Terry, you played the linebacker position, formerly of Eastern Michigan. How was the draft process for y'all leading up for the league?
You want to start off?
I'll let TJ go first.
All right. Well, I came out with the COVID year, so everything was different because they wasn't doing visits and everything else like that. But for me, it was definitely different. My pro day got canceled. It was kind of like last minute, like because they didn't really wasn't definitive about anything, so you still had to work out, still had to try and stay in shape. They even closed our gym, like where the football players work at it. So I was just having to go either to this high school that was way out, like an hour out from Kentucky, the University of Kentucky. Or I just had to get a lift in at home, just to, push ups, just, whatever in the house. But it was definitely interesting because everybody always talks about how you never know where you can get drafted at. And I thought that Houston would have signed. I know I wasn't graded high to get drafted, and but Houston was the main team that I was having Zoom calls with, and I had communication with them, and they were saying they liked me and all this stuff. But we got to draft day, once to finish, my my agent was just like, the Cardinals wanted to sign me. So, and I had never talked to them like I went to the Senior Bowl down in Florida, Tropical Spiral Bowl. I didn't talk to any Cardinal scouts or anything like that, but they was the ones that ended up signing me. But it was definitely interesting, just with COVID, how COVID changed everything. But it was tough, but things played out how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's actually interesting that you brought up COVID, because that was one of my questions. Like, how did that impact y'all as far as y'all college career, as far as, the timing of everything? Like you said, there wasn't no visits, workouts were limited. I even think about that part as far as you having access to gyms and things like that. So that's, that's huge, because a lot of times your pro day is something that can make or break you as far as where you get drafted and if you get drafted into the league. So I
right.
think that deep into it. Terry, how was your process?
I'm actually currently in the process right now. Believe it or not, I'm trying to do something different as far as my journey to get to the league. I just view this USFL as a segue type device to get me to the league, because I'm draft eligible. Like, I'm in the NFL draft that's next week. My name is eligible. So I think that this is giving me a great opportunity to get some exposure and play against some guys that have been in the league and, were even on rosters last season, and just show my ability, because, I had a great season in the COVID year. I know you're going to ask me about that, but in 2020, that's really first onto the scene and was able to show my ability. You know what I'm saying? Everything really clicked for me that season. And then coming back from this past season in 2021, I had a real good season, but I didn't have the exact same production that I had in 2020, because teams, they had me on their radar and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, scout report, yeah.
Exactly. So they game planning, like, go away from me and stuff like that. I really was trying to play through it, but they were really trying to neutralize me. So I didn't have the exact same numbers and production as I had. And honestly, they wanted me to come out in 2020, but I wanted to finish school and stuff like that. So I stayed another year. So I just use this as an opportunity to really regrow my brand and show what I could do.
So speaking of branding, before we get a little bit ahead of ourselves, I do want y'all to kind of like, I guess this would be like a flexing moment here, where it's just like y'all kind of just I guess explain yourselves to the people right now. Just, kind of give a little backstory on yourselves and what position y'all play, what school y'all went to, et cetera, that kind of stuff. I guess we'll start with Terry.
Yeah, I started off, we can go back to high school. I went to Woodward Academy in College Park, Georgia. I went there all 4 years. I played defensive end, actually, at Woodward. Played a little bit of outside linebacker, stand-up linebacker, but they had me at end because of my pass rushing ability. And I was real productive in high school. Ended up getting me an offer to East Michigan University, where I went and played linebacker for 5 years. I was an all-conference player. Made a lot of strides on and off the field. And now I'm here in the USFL.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. And for the Michigan Panthers, correct?
Correct, the Michigan Panthers.
Okay. How about you, TJ?
Yeah, so I'm also from Georgia. Went to high school at Whitfield Academy and played defensive end there. I didn't have any like big offers or anything coming out of high school. Well, initially, like to my senior year, I think I got my first offer. Is it late junior or my senior year? And I was going to go to Sanford University, which is down here in Birmingham. But Kentucky, I guess one of the Kentucky coaches, he had saw my film, and he had brought me up to visit. And everybody on the visit was committed, or they had an offer to Kentucky. So all the guys that was there, they was telling me, oh yeah, they're gonna offer you, all that. And by the end of it, they didn't give me an offer. And so when that happened, I was just like, forget Kentucky, I'm just gonna go to Sanford. And the coach called me and everything. He was like, you ready to sign? I'm like, I'm not going there. I'm going to Sanford. He said, oh, what do you mean? I've been vouching for it. So okay, I didn't give me an offer. So but ended up being my dad. He pretty much told me, he was like, you need to go to SEC. You know, it's the best conference, all that stuff. So that's what I ended up doing. Went to Kentucky though. I didn't get redshirted my freshman year. And I played a little bit, like sparingly I played, and just kind of went on. I feel like I turned the corner like my junior year, like going into the senior year, because I feel like that's when I learned what hard work was. And because I had Josh Allen at my school, so he like in that May, the month that everybody usually go home, he was still up there working out like twice a day, doing all this extra stuff, and I saw how it transferred to the field, because he went crazy, had like 15, 16 sacks or something like that in the season the next year. So I told myself I was just gonna do that, commit myself to a summer of just grinding, and I ended up, balling out in camp. I ended up having an injury though that kind of hindered me. I had a pinched nerve, and basically like it's when you get burners repeatedly, stingers repeatedly, and you're
I know firsthand.
Break your plexus. I lost all the strength in my arm. Like they always would say I was one of the strongest people on the team. I couldn't even bench like this arm, like the bar would be like tilted because I couldn't even bench with this other arm. And I mean that kind of just messed up my season in terms of just production and being dominant. But ended up signing with the Cardinals, undrafted. But it was COVID year, so they didn't declare the rules until I guess a week into camp. And so they basically made a new CBA saying that there had to be 80 players instead of 90 on the roster for camp. And so basically it was funny because one of the D linemen on the Cardinals that was a rep for the NFLPA went to Kentucky. So I was talking to him, I said, dang, they talking about cutting people from the team. I said, I know I'm probably going to be one of the people because I'm undrafted. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. We're fighting against it. All that. And then, they see now I get cut, sent back home. And it was really like the first day we went into the building, because we had to stay in the hotel for like a week because, with all the COVID rules and stuff, everything was different. So really my first or second day going in the building, they grabbed me up, told me to go talk to the head coach and all that stuff, and I got cut, sent back home. And so after that, went back home, kept working out, and then it was like towards the last week of camp, because there was no preseason. So the last week before the season started, I signed with the Saints, and I was there, made some plays with the Saints. It was the last week though, and basically what they told me was they wanted to sign this other guy they had because he was a veteran, and I've learned that's the biggest thing. Like when it comes to getting signed, is if you have game experience and
politics and experience.
Yeah, especially in COVID year, like that's the people that was bringing in for workouts in the COVID. They wasn't bringing in undrafted people or people that didn't have a lot of experience. Like they could have been 2 or 3 year guys with no stats, but they had that, those years of experience. So they was getting opportunities for the workout. So anyway, I went through the whole year. I had one workout with Houston, but they ended up signing a D lineman while I was there during the quarantine time, because you had to wait 5 days before you do a workout. So after I did the workout, it was like, we didn't need a D lineman.
So
left from there. Yeah. So left from there. And at this point, my agent's like, yeah, you should do your pro day, since I didn't have one in the first place. So went back to Kentucky, did a pro day. And I did pretty well in terms of just, stats. And then my field drills, which they really liked. And the Steelers ended up signing me. And I signed with them. I was with them from the start of OTAs until the last preseason game. And I got released from there at the end. But that's everything I know. And now I'm at the Panthers. So Michigan Panthers in the USFL. So that's been my journey for the most part.
So y'all touched on a few things that I actually, came up in a lot of our questions. Was one, using this league to propel y'all to the NFL. I know TJ was, had previous experience being on practice squads, and like Terry just said, he's eligible for the draft coming up next week. Let's take it back a little bit. Let's go back to high school, and this is something was Terry. I don't know if you remember this. One of your counterparts, the other defense end that was on the All-Star team, Tory, I don't remember. I used to coach him in AAU. That's how I heard that you was legit when you was in high school. It was like, oh, this Terry guy. And I was like, sounds familiar. And they said the high school. And I was like, wait a minute, this can't be the same guy in the Mad League. And then come to find out it was you. But what do y'all think as far as the talent level in Georgia, as far as not only in football, but just for me in basketball too, for me coaching, like the talent pool that y'all was playing against in the high school days?
Come on now, without a doubt, man. We smashing New Orleans, Louisiana.
Whoa, slow down. Now, slow down. We ain't saying all that. But continue.
For real though, it's legit. Like playing against dudes in Georgia, coming up from little league, red ball, all the way up to middle school, high school, it prepared me to go to college. Like when I got to college, I was already more in shape than everybody. I was stronger than everybody. Like just a program and a discipline that I came from coming up, it prepared me for the next level. So playing in Georgia, you're gonna be conditioned with heat, stuff like that. You ain't got to worry about running the mess out of nobody that's coming from Georgia when they get to college, because they're gonna be leading the pack in shape, and they're gonna have that mental fortitude to lead the pack as well. So I think Georgia prepared me for a lot in that regard.
What about you, TJ?
Yeah,
because it's kind of crazy that your side that you're a defensive end and not a defensive tackle, but so that's kind of speak the type of athlete that you is too. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess in high school I was only like 240 or something like that. Yeah, I mean for a defensive end, that's not really like. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess I'll say I was a big end, but yeah, I had. I definitely feel like Georgia is probably, top 3 when it.
Oh, play lost him a little bit.
Yeah, I think we kind of lost.
All right. Yeah, I think he froze. But I think what he was about to say is like Georgia being one of the top 3 states. In my opinion, it's because I live in all 3 states: Georgia, Texas, Louisiana. Yeah, it froze a little bit, TJ. What you were saying, the top 3, what?
I was saying we had like, even in 1A private, we still was having like guys get signed to like big schools and stuff out of small schools. And I was just saying that's just a testimony just to Georgia football in itself, because you don't see that in other states like that, where you just having talent from top to bottom. And I mean, if you look at Georgia UGA, like all them guys be from Georgia, or most of them, and
no, hold on.
But yeah, man, Georgia football definitely on top. Only other state I really would just say is clearly over us is Florida, because I know Florida got athletes. Every school, every team I've been on, it's been like it's a bunch of guys from Florida, and they always fast and athletic. So yeah. I'll give Florida their props. Georgia definitely, we definitely on top.
So while I might differ with your opinion, and that's cool.
Hey, can I go first? Here we go. Y'all full of shit. Louisiana on goddamn top. Goddamn it.
Definitely not. Y'all not top 5.
Okay, all right. When you top 5, I'll take top 5.
I'm about to say, because we definitely got legends that came out of the New Orleans area. So
yeah, I'll take top 5, and I can't, as long as it's top 5. But I do have a question though. So like I was watching, there's another podcast I was watching, and the guy was talking about him attending Alabama and how basically Alabama was harder than the NFL, like the things he had to go through and just the things you're dealing with. at that level was actually harder than it was when he got to the NFL, mainly because it's a job when you get to this kind of level, right? Like that's all you do all day. But he talked about like how Alabama, everything was there for you. So all you did was focus on football. So I guess my question then is like your experience at Kentucky, TJ, and yours, Terry, is Eastern Michigan, correct? Just like, y'all experiences there, was that typical of how it was, where it just kind of you just kind of eat, sleep, and breathe football? Well, I'll start with you, Terry.
Well, I would say it kind of got more toward that, toward the end of my journey with COVID and stuff, because when I first got to Eastern, you got to think this is commuter school. This is a group of 5 school. We right down the street. We 10 minutes away from the University of Michigan. Most of the fans and stuff like that, they going to that school. They going to see them play. They want to see Michigan and Michigan State. So we really had to earn our stripes. I remember my dad being pissed off when we first got up there. They ain't had no Eastern Michigan gear in the stores or nothing like that. You seen Michigan and Michigan State, you know what I'm saying, Western Michigan, you seen all their stuff all over the place, but you didn't really see Eastern like that. So, my thing was to, go hard and get my name out there, get everybody's name out there so we can make plays and, you know what I'm saying, get some more respect around the state. So I wouldn't say that it was a whole lot like that, but once COVID came and I was on a little virtual classes, we had got a new facility and stuff like that, so I was able to go up there and really just be all focused on football because school was easy on the computer.
Yeah. How about you, TJ, your experience at Kentucky?
My experience as in the schooling or just?
Well, just like I said, did you feel like you were there more to play football than you were going to school? Or what, did you actually feel like you were a college student?
Well, I feel like as a college athlete, you never feel like a college student because college students, they get time to go chill after they get off of classes and all this extra time they're having and stuff. And it's like, when you're a college athlete, I mean, everybody goes to college thinking I'm going to the league. When you sign, especially in the SEC, everybody's goal is, okay, I'm getting to the league. And that's just like, I forgot the guy from Ohio State. He said, I ain't come here to play school. We all trying to get to the league and get to the money. Yeah. So, obviously, I know I had to do all my work and still get good grades because I knew that, regardless playing football or not, if I went to the league, football is going to end someday. So I always tried to actually learn and be focused in class and do my work because I knew that it was going to, help me get my degree and I actually leave knowing something. And I know some guys, they ain't have to do nothing, and now they ain't playing football. They don't know what to do with themselves. And I feel like that's definitely a problem as a whole when it comes to college, probably more specifically college football athletes is like everybody just like their whole life is football for so long. And then when you lose it, you don't know what to do with yourself. And you have an identity crisis and stuff. But I think that's one thing that Kentucky helped us with because we had a program called 4 for 40. And basically it was saying like your next 4 years, your life of, being in Kentucky, being in college will set you up for the next 40. And I feel like that was huge because it was just telling you that it's not a time to slack around and it's time to soak up all the knowledge you can while you're here, to set you up for the next 40 years. So even if you're in the league, you can start making businesses and, putting money in different places to build it up. So I think Kentucky did a good job of preparing us for, the outside world, outside of football, and then also just the next level in terms of being in the NFL.
That's a good point. I know, Jimmy, you had a couple teammates from high school that whatever happened after college, they didn't know what to do once football or basketball was over with. So I seen that firsthand.
Somebody didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do after high school. They was lost after that.
So we got a long list of those.
No identity.
We grew up and played with. So let's going on with the Panthers. So Kind of a progression of what Jimmy just asked. How has the difference been as far as practice? I know y'all have practice today compared to college to what y'all been going through with the Panthers so far. I know it's you only had one game in, but how has that process been?
I just did something yesterday, and I told the guys that Coach Fisher is the epitome of a player's coach. I'm honestly, practice is a lot less strenuous on the body at this level than it is in college or high school. They really try to take care of us because, you know, at this level, you pretty much know how to tackle. You wouldn't be at this level if you didn't know how to tackle. You know ball disruption techniques. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is pretty sharpened up. We can tune it from time to time and stuff and throw on the shoulder pass. But for the most part, they don't do too much to get us all hurt up, soft tissues and nothing like that.
Interesting. I would, well, I mean, that's a good point. I would thought it would be a little more strenuous, but you know, I think it's more of the mental game at this point. Like you said, you wouldn't make it to this point if you didn't have the physical skill set.
TJ got a little bit of a different perspective in them trenches because they coaches a little. But I like that part.
Oh, he a hog molly.
What's your point of view from the defensive lineman position as far as y'all practices?
So I have kind of like a coach. My coach he hasn't been to the pros like NFL, and you can really tell he's a college coach, and because he tries to do a lot, which is understandable. That's what he knows,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this has been more strenuous than the NFL as far as practice. NFL, I guess.
Pros again.
But that's that is kind of funny because you would think that at that
Even
level.
in camp,
okay, there you go.
Mike Tomlin, he does a good job of getting the work done, and like I remember I was calling some of my other friends that was on other teams. They was at camp. They would still be working out and watching film and stuff like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And we would be done around 4 o'clock every day in training camp. Now, like I said, the Steelers, they got all pros across the board on defense.
Yeah.
That might play a big part of it. But in terms of just practicing, Cameron Hayward, he's a work guy. He always is wanting to work. And Tyson, T.J., all them guys work, you know what I'm saying? They're not no lazy guys. So we was always efficient, though. We would get our work done, but we also wouldn't kill ourselves because we know that, that's not being professional.
Yeah.
You gotta be quick, do things precise, execute. It's not about doing 100 reps or something in the league, you know what I'm saying? Because guys is pros at that point. But I'll just say for this, I don't know if it's because of the time constraints of which we can use the field or them just trying to pack everything in, but it's like it's been really like taxing on the body because like we'll go from Indy. And Indy, we on 10, like we really start before practice start. We be pushing it and pulling on each other before practice start. Then we get to Indy, which is another, we're doing a lot of D-line drills. And we go straight from Indy to, and this is like on a padded day. So, we hitting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, every day, the O-line, D-line, we pretty much full speed every day because we got to, bang on each other. But we'll go from Indy to straight to half-line run. And half-line run is basically like you line up the center guard and tackle, and then you have a defensive tackle and a defensive end playing either three tech or 2-hour hit up on the center or whatever. And you basically just take on double teams and various blocks that they're going to do in the game. Now, half-line is more hectic because the drill is really we want to kick ass as a D line, but it's really for the O line because it's no linebackers in half line. So in real football, they're supposed to come off these double teams when the linebackers coming up, but Terry come up and get in that hole, you know, they supposed to come off to block Terry so he don't get a TFL. So when the linebacker's not down there, they just staying on, trying to drive us out, off the field. And it's definitely gotten better because we got more numbers on the D line. But man, we was going back to back to back to back to back. We'll go from that straight into pass rush. Won't even work. Usually, how he's structured is if it's half line, you'll work run blocks, pre-practice or in Indy. And then days that you're doing pass rush one-on-ones, you will work pass rush moves before you do one-on-one. Does it make sense? You know, you warm yourself up for the drill versus the offensive line. And we just
TJ,
do all that at once.
1 second. We got to take a quick break. Come back and join that same link, and then we're going to ask a few more questions, and we can wrap y'all up. But we got to take a quick break right here. Join that same link back.
All
right, welcome back. Back here with TJ and Terry. As y'all are aware, I'm a Titans fan. Coach Fisher was felt like my coach for like 20 years, damn near. How has y'all experience been with Coach Fisher, with a guy that's from the NFL, and how that's preparing and helping y'all game on the field?
Coach Fisher is great. He's a very aggressive guy. I mean, you know that from watching coach games over the years. He's a very aggressive guy. He gets us fired up, ready to play every week, and he's hands-on as well, especially on the special teams aspect of things. Does get people in the right places for them to make plays, and I think he's just a good coach, and he brings a lot of good attention to our team. I love having him as a coach.
Yeah, when you said hands-on, I was watching y'all game. I think it was in the second half when y'all went for 2 and y'all called a timeout, and I don't know if he was drawing up a play or something, but he was basically like getting everybody in and telling them exactly what he wanted to do. Yeah. And not necessarily just saying, calling the play and just stepping to the side. Like he was actually in there, hey, you need to do this, you need to focus on this, and that, and the other. So that's one thing that, me personally, I think hands-on has always been my approach. That's how you get people to buy in quicker than just by words. What's your point of view on that, TJ, with Coach Fisher and your experience so far?
I think he's definitely, an NFL coach. You can tell how he operates, and he's just, he tries to be smooth with everything, and you can just tell he's very knowledgeable about the game. Our assistant D-line coach, he played for Coach Fisher when he was in Tennessee, Coach Tony Brown. And,
defensive tackle. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, so you can just tell he's not a professionalism and see that he's been there. You know what I'm saying? He knows all the situations and stuff, and that's one thing I did feel like when we did play our first game, we was definitely prepared and in shape because we got to the second half and the other team was real gassed. So I was saying that's just a testament to Coach Fisher. But yeah, I like how he operates.
Yeah, one of my high school teammates had an opportunity to play for him with the Titans, Rodell Williams. So he had, he always had good things to say about him. I mean, of course, if he draft you and get you your money, of course, that's a good thing to say. But he, before his injuries, he always said he had a good experience with the Titans. You can go with yours, Jimmy.
So a little off the norm of the questions we've been going at, but so this is one. I guess we'll call it a fan mail question. So recently at the NFL tryouts, they required Colin Kaepernick to sign some kind of waiver. Do y'all or have any of y'all experienced anything like that, or has anything come across your face like that?
What type of waiver?
I guess just any kind of like anything that would prevent you to embarrass in the league or anything like that.
No, I don't think I really had the opportunity yet. Like I said, it's the first professional gig I've been into. So
is it like that? I guess more or less in the USFL is really my question. I mean to cut you off, but in the USFL, have y'all noticed things like that where in the language in your contracts and things like that kind of prevent you from doing certain things and embarrassing the league like that?
I would say within the contract, there's something where they want you to stand for the national anthem. That's something that's in black and white in the contract. So I think that would be controversial to some people. I ain't gonna lie, I'm fresh in. I'm one of those guys that I ain't really trying to mess nothing up right now. So I gotta wait until I get a little bit more pull before I'm able to, really do what's necessary. But right now, I go with the flow.
Get your money, young man. Get your money.
Yeah, I'll say the same. Like when I read it, it just said that you had to stand for the national anthem, and also they didn't want you to have certain like branding or something like that. Like, I guess anything outside the USFL, they didn't really want that to be portrayed on screen. But when I did workouts, the only waiver you had to sign was like a physical waiver, which was like, I guess if you get hurt,
during the workout.
It's one of those deals. But no, I haven't had to sign anything like that.
Yeah, like I said, prayer questions. So, and this is a silly one, and I know this, I think it's silly, but again, so one of our fans have been advocating for the expansion of the college football playoff system to 32 teams. Apparently this is how division, or what we used to know as Division II and Division III, used to do it. What are your opinions on college football expanding to a 32 team playoff system?
Hey, I'm all for it. The more football, the better life is. So I have no opposition to that. It'll bring in money to those programs. Definitely gonna generate some money, and people will get to see football for a couple more weeks. I don't think anybody opposed to that.
You just made us so happy.
And just to be clear, it's not a fan. It's one of our co-hosts that wasn't able to get on tonight. So he loves that answer, even though he's not here. That's been his thing, is the more money, more football, which I don't know. We've been going back and forth on this about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, this is totally inside.
Yeah, inside baseball type thing. TJ, what you think about expansion of the college playoffs?
I think 32 teams is crazy. But what is it? It's like 8 right now, right?
I think it's moving to 8. Yeah.
Yeah, they're moving to 8.
I feel like that's perfect because, I'm biased. I feel like SEC, our schedule is harder I feel like just in terms of just talent across the board, and then the type of athletes you see at SEC versus other schools is, you literally can just look on the screen and see it, and for 32 teams, I'm sure it would be like interconference for the, unless they did like the bowl system where, you playing different conferences. Which,
yeah, he kind of proposed it that way, but like you said, I think it's going to just be an expanded SEC tournament because it's going to be the bulk.
That has been my argument. My argument has been that because his thing is there's too many SEC teams in the playoffs. So my thing is if you explain the playoff system, you're just going to have more SEC teams in the playoff system. So it's not going to solve it.
I don't get though how people get mad because they're the best teams. You look what Georgia did to Michigan when they played them.
Yeah. Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? So
it just is what it is, honestly.
Yeah. At least we got one. We got one. Terry let me down, but that's all right. TJ came in for it. All right. So the last one that we got, basically, so I don't think anybody really remembers because it was like 40 years ago or so, with the previous USFL league. but just now, just walking around, just where you guys are now, do you kind of see that the coaching staff and just the league in general, players, et cetera, do you think people are taking it more seriously this time around and looking for a more long-term investment in this league than just, one and done or next, couple of years and on to something else?
Yeah, I think they definitely are taking it serious. There's revenue in this with Fox Sports. It's a lot of people. I seen that was $150 million invested into this. So I think that they are really taking great steps toward having longevity with the people that they're having in the league, on the teams and the coaching staffs. Obviously, we got Jeff Fisher. So that's legitimate. That's real stuff. So I think they're really trying to do stuff.
Y'all played against Hamlin. That was at Texas A&M.
The running back?
No, the coach. What's his name? What's the guy?
That was the first game. That was the first game. He was a huge gambler.
That's because another thing I was thinking about is I feel like this is a replacement for NFL Europe. That was before y'all time, again, showing my age, but it was also another league that was able to, this time of year, one, give you more football, and then two, help players propel themselves into the NFL. So, like I said, I think it's a great opportunity for you to get, on the job training per se, and get more film out there and show them what you could do against, even better talent. Jimmy had another one out the bag.
Oh, no, just how about you, TJ? You feel like that they're actually committed, especially being having some NFL experience? Do you feel like this league is comparable to the NFL in terms of them looking as if they're trying to make it a long-term thing?
Yeah, they definitely can. I don't think anybody could compete with the NFL, but if it was trying to be like a supplemental league, springtime, and guys could get in and they can get film, which, me and Terry are trying to do, it would be huge, and I definitely feel like it could, especially how the season's gone. So I feel like the season's gone well pretty far. So far, but they got Fox behind it. Fox is using all their camera stuff. They was taking pictures, and you could tell it was a high budget with all this type of stuff. So I feel like next year, as they get more organized and more money or more people are investing into the league, I feel like it's definitely going to get more and more notoriety. But I feel like it could go a long way for sure.
Yeah, because I noticed they using the drone technology for the cameras and stuff. So yeah, you can tell people are actually, like you said, they putting money behind it. But that actually is kind of I guess you can say a good segue into the next question, which was, so do you feel like this will, and I guess TJ, you're an answer, so I'll just go straight back to Terry. Do you feel like this will be somewhat of a rival to the NFL, or do you think that it's going to be more of like a supplemental thing, like a AAA in baseball or something, where this will be a platform to the NFL?
Nothing's rivaling the NFL. I'm not even going to take it that far and say that, but I will tell you that I'm going to piggyback off what TJ said. This can be something supplemental that can have people's attention when the NFL isn't going on. And it'll definitely be an instrument to help us get to the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all we had in the fan bag.
Yeah, it's like you said, nothing's going to rival the NFL. There's too much money behind it. There's too much longevity. What I've been speaking to people, and I've been disappointed in some people, is that they're looking at it as everything has to rival. Like if you're not rivaling the NFL, then it has no place for it. Well, I think otherwise, like I said, it's an opportunity for development to get to the NFL and knowing what it can do to help you, whether it's just getting the money, whether it's getting to the NFL, whether it's just being able to play the game you've been playing your whole life. Like one of my friends, I was telling him, is like, I missed my opportunity. I would love if I had an opportunity to play in a supplemental league for basketball in state and not have to go overseas and things like that. But it's, everybody's path is different. You know what I'm saying? So this is just another avenue to get to that goal. So I salute y'all for doing y'all thing. And I think y'all on the right way. Y'all on the right way. Like you said, the Georgia talent is crazy. So anybody else from the Georgia area that y'all are aware of that's in the league with y'all? So it's crazy that y'all got on the same team. That was kind of I don't know how y'all managed to do that.
It's a couple guys. We got a teammate that's from Columbus, Georgia. He went to Mizzou. It's a couple guys in the league. But like I said, we've really been focused on our own team for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been seeing some Georgia tags in the parking deck.
Yeah, for sure.
Floyd, I know you're late. Any questions from you before we wrap up?
Are you sure you want me to ask these questions?
Lord, I guess.
All right. So just before you continue, y'all both are single, right?
Yeah,
you said what?
Y'all single, right? Y'all not committed to no female, right?
Yeah, we single. I'm single.
I'm single.
All right. So how many white women, bruh? How many white women y'all smashed?
Oh my God.
He said the white woman.
I need to know, bruh. Y'all are fine-tuned athletes. It seems like y'all got good heads on y'all shoulder. You know what I'm saying? We went through a Trump presidency or whatever. How many white women said they want to do the thing with y'all, man?
Hey, bro, you ignore him. Don't worry about him.
Do not.
Y'all ain't got to answer him.
This is not he got game, dude.
Hey, one went to East Michigan, white. Other one went to Kentucky, white.
That's not true. My assistant played at East Michigan and she was black, so that's not true. So that can't be true.
Black population, actually.
Yeah. Shout out to Tampa.
And in Kentucky. Louisville straight black folks.
All right, I'll let y'all slide then.
Do you have any real questions? I brought you in because you the quote unquote act like you actually got a real job. Ask a question, man.
All right, fine. So technically, my main question is every time y'all get invited out to these NFL teams and y'all try out or whatever like that, right? Do they actually pay y'all for that by any chance, or is it just more?
No, they give you basically they'll pay for your food. Mm-hmm. Like when when
per diem.
Not even a per diem, like I would just send a receipt to whoever the guy was that picked me up or whatever, and they send me the money back. But yeah, it wasn't like, it was just like you said, per diem or anything like that. I mean, they may do that for some people. I just haven't experienced that.
Good question.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to do an NFL workout yet. I was invited to one, but I couldn't go because I'm here. So I don't really know all the details yet.
Okay. So I guess you want to say my last question is, did you find the agent or did the agent find you?
Pretty much, the agent found me. When you putting out good tape on a weekly basis, people going to see you and people going to find you. So I would say in most scenarios, the agent finds you.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the same for me. My agent, he just saw potential in me. He was talking about my size and length and everything else like that, comparing it to people in the NFL, which is, how they rank people as far as prospects coming out. But, he said he had watched me and he felt like I was a good player. So he told me, he was trying to get me to sign with him. That's how it went for me.
All right. And just to kind of put some future probability in your life, if y'all ever make it to the Super Bowl, are we getting Super Bowl tickets?
Hey, listen.
You know how many we get, man.
I ain't gonna lie. They said you get some, but I hear that everybody be selling them because they sell for $10,000 a piece.
This is true. Yeah.
So I'll sell it to you for $5.
Hey,
Just for the loan.
I'll sell it to you for $8.
off camera, I'll find you. Because I'll tell you.
Look, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I'll take that 5 too. If they're going for 10, I'll take it for 5.
Yeah,
because if nothing else, like you say, I can turn around and upload it for 8, and at least get 3
hell
back.
no!
So,
You ain't get it when you gonna do that.
No, I was gonna go, but I'm saying if I can't make it, then if for nothing else, then I can sell it and get 8 back. You dig? So I'll take that 5. That's cool.
Yeah. If Cuz do like he's supposed to do, we should be going anyway. Right, Floyd?
Yeah, actually, to be honest with you or whatever, I just look at like based on y'all stories and how things are going and stuff like that. Definitely we could probably have a conversation. I'll let Damaris tell you, but I think if things are the way to y'all say it is or whatever, I think that I could probably slide your name somewhere.
Gotcha. All right. Anything else, Jimmy?
No, man. I mean, that was it, bro. It's just I just want to say it's been a pleasure talking to y'all boys, man. I appreciate y'all, taking time out of y'all busy schedule. I know y'all just got out of practice, so I know y'all kind of tired or whatever. So I appreciate y'all, spending time with us and answering these questions.
Man, without a doubt, man, we appreciate you.
No doubt, man. So we'll be watching, man. So salute. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, TJ. Y'all have a good one.
Don't be offended if I root for the Breakers over y'all, though. That's
New Orleans first.
Yeah.
Hey, man. You got to broaden your horizon, Jimmy, man. You can't always go back home.
Be a Pelicans, Saints, and a Breakers fan. I can't be a homer all my life. Come on, man.
You know these two people personally now, man. You just had a whole conversation. It hits differently when you know somebody on the field. You know what I mean?
You're right. Birmingham is they're in my top 2, not number 1.
Hey, but the white women though, you know what I mean?
All right. Thank y'all for coming out.
White women, man. Golly.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all, fellas.
Sure.
All
right. Before we get into the serious part of basketball talk, we're going to take this time out, take our shots at Tony Love, who's MIA today. Shout out to Tony Love. Florida State's own Scotty Barnes, NBA Rookie of the Year. Get a golf clap.
I hate Florida State with everything in my soul, but just the fact of sticking to Tony Love, I would be a team player.
I'm UNC all day, son.
I might hurricane all day, so I can't bring you around here. Show no love to no Florida State, but this out of the street pettiness of sticking to Tony Love and his disgust towards Florida State basketball, which I ain't gonna lie, Florida State basketball has all been fairly decent in these streets, low key. But his disgust for it was real though. Like, God, they're like, yo, what they do to you?
Like for real. So.
I think part of it is again, Florida State has always been known to make those hard-nosed. They always preach perimeter defense, right? So like even some of the, I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of guys that didn't pan out. Like even like Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell came from a JUCO that went to Florida State.
Right.
Charlie Ward.
Bobby Sore.
Bob Sewell. There's another dude that was right behind Bob Sewell. You know what I'm saying? So like they're known for having hard-nosed defense and knowing to play defense, kind of like with Syracuse with the zone and stuff like that. So when you get a guy from there, they're gonna at least put that effort. Now, would they offense pan out? You know what I'm saying? That's to be, everybody ain't Sam Cassell, 2-point geezer, you know what I'm saying? But Scotty Barnes came out and he was, and I say that when we talk about the draft, the fact that this dude played point guard for that team at his height, coming off the bench.
Off the bench.
That lets you know the trust that they had in him and what he might have been doing in practices is like, okay, we can't start you
as a freshman. As a freshman.
But to understand, like, to get the command of the ball as a freshman is hard to do. Even if you play point guard all 4 years in high school, sometimes they'll put you to the 2 those first year or 2 just because, you know what I'm saying, just to say, hey, this ain't your, you know, we're gonna give it to the junior or the senior. But you know what I'm saying, he did a little bit of everything for Toronto, like 15 points, almost 50% from the field, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Like he's basically fit the perfect type Toronto Raptor player. Like he's a tweener. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Because you basically got 3 tweeners across the front line: Siakam, him, OG Anunoby. So like that's, you know, is pretty much what they expected. I'm just happy he didn't go to Orlando and kind of fall apart there. But he, you know, he got playoff experience this year. Got, you know, elbow to the face. You know what I'm saying, from childbearing hips and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Bitch ass nigga.
But you know, shout out again, Scotty Barnes. Shout out to the big guards out there in the league. So Tony Love, go ahead and eat that L. Because who else would it gave it to? Like Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
But Pistons are horrible.
Right.
What's your boy name? Wagner for the Magic. The Magic are horrible. Even though Wagner did come out as a sleeper.
Who was the third person technically?
Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley, yeah. I mean, he could have somewhat, but it's like the numbers wasn't.
And the injuries. He had some
injuries,
some time missed. Right. But I think I will say this though. I think Mobley will be the best player out this draft.
Gotcha. I can see that too.
You know, being a center. I mean, they kind of playing him like Kevin Garnett, playing like small forward right now.
That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Defensively, he got it already, but like offensively, is his game going to mature? Like, are they going to just float him around the perimeter all day, or actually is he going to be attacking the basket? Is he going to put some weight on? Like, you know, things like that. So like that's, like you said, that is a concern. Is like how the offensive game can pan out. Are they going to just strictly make him a jump shooter, or really let his game develop? Because defensively, he got it. You know what I'm saying? Is it the offensive that can?
I mean, remember, he can evolve to another Tyson Chandler in a bigger picture.
I was thinking Rudy Gobert.
Same guys.
Yeah.
Same guys.
I think he's a little better offensively than both of them, honestly, already. With just having the fact of having a jumper already, already kind of makes him a little better than them. But it's just will he put on that size of both of those guys is the question.
Because Tyson because Tyson was like the same size. Like and Tyson put on weight over time.
Yeah, time, right. So that would be just the thing and everything. Because, you know,
Tyson was extra medium in high school.
Right.
Extra medium.
And Tyson beat Coach Carter, man. What you talking about?
I can't see him though, but I can't see Mobley being another Garnett by no shape or form though. Like, he don't have that type of energy and craziness
to do it on both sides of the ball is difficult. Defensive wise, I can see him doing a lot of stuff, but like you said, to be able to do both at the same time, like KG did, like they don't just, they don't make too many of those. They don't make too many of those.
He wasn't rap tight anyway. We just called Garnett who he was. He was
shout out South Carolina.
Exactly. I mean, crazy.
If you don't know Kevin Garnett backstory, go research that documentary, and you understand why he does a lot of stuff.
What he does.
He live off his rocker.
Yeah, he had no chance.
He wasn't supposed to make it. I said I'd be explaining that to a lot of people. He wasn't supposed to make it. Him, Allen Iverson.
But for him to go from South Carolina to Chicago and still survive living even in Chicago,
he thought he was going somewhere better.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think this went to another hellhole, and then like this was more recklessness. Like, yo, okay.
He should have went to Inglewood with your buddy, with Paul Pierce, but
man, fuck that nigga. But I hear what you're saying.
So yeah,
fuck Boston.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that show. We might have to do a podcast. We might have to do a podcast about winning time. We might have to dedicate. And
all right, I'm gonna start watching. All right, I'm gonna start watching Winning Time, yo.
No, because you live, just due to the fact that you lived through that time frame. I know that it's not all verbatim, and it was based on the book, and they're going to be changing some of the stuff. But dog, a lot of that stuff in there, it's good TV, dog. It's good.
Okay.
It's great
because
TV.
even if it didn't happen that way, I like the way that it happened.
I like
it's all better. It's all better. This story's all better. Let's keep this story.
Let's keep this going.
Okay, then. Yeah. All right, then I'm gonna start peeping it out because I kept saying I wanted so many episodes, but I wanted to binge watch it, and then
I think it's on episode 6 or 7 right now. Something like that.
God damn, that many episodes already? Okay, good then. All right,
but it's an hour each. It's an hour each. But then,
oh shit. Okay, good. Okay.
So, but the whole Tarkanian part of it, because I've heard whispers about that. And never dove into it. And then when they put it on the show, like I still haven't done that deep dive, like you said, going on YouTube and going and find some information. But like I feel like that's semi how it played out, though. Like because to me it made no sense that he wasn't the Lakers coach. Like how can somebody come and offer you that Scrooge McDuck money and you don't take that offer? So talking UFC. You'll see when they get it. It's like episode 3 or 4. So
okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I love Tark. And I love Tark to death. So I want to peep this. Okay, I'm gonna definitely get the peeping this up. I don't know, I got something against Lakers and LSU. I just hate the purple and gold colors. I just can't look at that shit every day. Shit disturbs me.
Well, it's not. I mean, the basketball doesn't even really start till like episode 5. So like, it's more the behind. It's the behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. Okay, cool then. All right,
you know what
that's
I'm saying?
even better then. I can deal with that.
Yeah, it's the behind the scenes is way better than anything that's happening on the court. So
gotcha. Okay
So,
then.
hey, white women. That's what's happened behind the court.
That's what happened behind the scenes. Yeah, like I said, you'll see. So yeah, we definitely we might have to bring that on the podcast and talk about winning time. But continuing with the NBA, NBA playoffs are here. I know we've been out for a couple of weeks, so the first thing that stands out is no LeBron James. So for me being a basketball lover and not just a LeBron stan, I think it's great for the casual fans to see these other talented players that are out here doing their thing. Instead of everything being hijacked and being talked about LeBron. There's other players out here doing their damn thing on the court.
I think so far these first rounds have been very intriguing. Except for like I don't care less still about Dallas and Utah, but overall, all the rest of the series I've been kind of Golden State and Denver neither. I ain't in that neither, but I'll say that the rest been fairly decent.
I will say this about Dallas and Utah: the fact that Utah was losing games without Luka being on the court is, I know we talked about the Jazz before.
They are who they are.
Yeah, they are who they are, and that says a lot when Luka is not on the court and you're still losing to, Bertans that came from the Wizards and Dinwiddie and Finney Smith and Brunson. You know what I'm saying? So and Kel Kleber or whatever his name is. Like who are these guys?
Shitting on Spencer Dinwiddie, man.
Dinwiddie's on point though.
I do what I'm saying, but still,
but he
ain't all NBA first. He ain't all NBA first team like Luka.
Yeah, right. He's a solid player, but like you don't think of him as like this team should be still beating a guy that's 2-time defensive player of the year, and
you got two all-stars on the Jazz. And what they're playing against is no all-stars for the Mavs.
No, they are dealing with an all-time great as a coach, nigga. That's what's getting with Jason Kidd. This is Jason Kidd. This is Jason Kidd factor all day, every day right now was why this is happening.
You mean the new coach of the Lakers?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, it can't happen. It ain't gonna happen.
Why? But why would he? Like, why would you go to that old ass team?
I want no parts of that shit.
I wouldn't. I mean, he wanted it before, but
before. But
so do I have to say this again?
Go ahead.
Do
you want to live with Precious?
Every day. Yeah, true, but but they gotta. But now that he's under contract with Dallas, they got to give up picks, and I don't think
Lakers got nothing to give up.
They don't have no picks to give up to even make that move.
They ain't got no pick that they can trade to like 2027 or 2026.
Right.
We will trade everybody on this roster we will find picks. You hear me?
But see, even if they do that, I still don't think Jason Kidd made them a better team. It's the roster that's the problem, not the head coach.
That's why he comes in and he trades everybody and gets his picks.
I don't see that happen. Because to me, I'm not gonna leave Luka for a 37-year-old LeBron that's only probably got 2 years left. When you Luka, you can possibly have a 10-year run with Luka.
Right, and you don't
who can he bring?
Well, right, and other
I don't even
gonna
think
be open to go to Dallas now for once.
I don't even think it's LeBron really that's the appealing thing.
It's Lakers.
Look, I'm about to say this, and for whatever reason, he's still an appealing piece. But I think Anthony Davis is the appealing piece in Los Angeles, not necessarily coming there from LeBron.
It's the wish factor.
Yeah,
the wish.
We don't hope. We wish. If we wish that he's healthy all the time, like this can be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
I don't know.
That's a hell of a wish, though.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what? Guess what? I guess if Ray J can have a hit song, anything is possible in these streets, huh?
But see, people say that, but we talk like they didn't win a championship already. Right?
I don't count. That
should count. That should count.
Bubble ass shit.
That counts.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. It does count, but remember this: Anthony Davis was hurt when the season shut down, and he got healthy in that shutdown time to come back fully healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's. You know what I'm saying? So like by the time they started back up, he probably would have been still missing games. So
look, how they say a blind squirrel find a nut every right? Like
dumbass can drop a clever turd. What else?
Look, but look, all you need is just little Giants, right? It's just one.
Just one.
I'm gonna score a touchdown. You know,
got a point. Got a good touche.
I get you, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, I don't like when people say that they don't count the bubble title. Like when they say bubble title, I don't like that. Like you winning, you winning. You know what I'm saying? Like I
get it. I'm just taking shots. I just hate the Lakers. It just is what it is. I'm just not a Lakers fan.
But know what's crazy about the Lakers too? Going back to winning time, like I was telling somebody this. As a Knicks fan, I still know a lot of Laker history stuff like off the court. Like I don't know if that comes from being subscribed to Sports Illustrated and shit like that. But like I knew a lot of that shit that was in the show. It was like, but that was like behind the scenes with the coaches and you know the players and shit like that. Like
and the Lakers, yo, that shit was legendary, man. It's like you said.
Imagine if it was around in social media time. Like, no, that was
crazy.
They
died. You couldn't have that shit out there, dude. That shit, oh my God, dude. That's like Studio 54. And they like that. This ain't gonna happen. This shit.
Hell of a drug. Oh man, that's another thing too. Richard Pryor makes an appearance on the show too. That's another reason why you need to watch it.
Okay, I got it. Okay, say no more now. You got me all in now. I'm about to watch this every day during the week now. You got me. All right. I got to see Richard Pryor for you. That's some pure ignorance at its finest.
Still with the NBA playoffs, one stat that came out, I think it came out this week. They said 56% of the players in the playoffs are a product of the G League. That's players that have spent some time in the G League. So I know in the past, people, when it was the D League and then it converted to G League, people was kind of questioning like this minor league system of players, especially now like high school kids are going straight to the G League instead of going to college. Hence like Jalen Green. Who was the other guy that went? It was Jalen Green in the draft. And
RJ Hampton. RJ Hampton did it.
RJ Hampton. And somebody else I'm missing from last year's draft.
It was you are another person I can't think, but I know those.
That was a lottery pick, but it was like to me, I think it's a great development tool because like one thing about the G League, they gonna get buckets. They be scoring like 150 points per game and shit like that. So like,
ain't no defense at all happening. It's all you developing your offensive skills.
So like they out there getting buckets. So like I said, I think it's a great farm system. Which Major League Baseball have been doing it for years, and kind of like we talking T.J. and Terry is like, the USFL can play part of that. Like NFL Europe used to be, or CFL. So like it's another gateway to get to your goal to make it to the top league. So I'm all for it. And that's another thing too. Like people say like. It leads to good numbers on bad teams, but it shows you like they making, these are playoff teams. 50% of the players, like that's in the
That's
playoffs.
That's crazy. I didn't think the number was gonna be that high. Like I was very impressed and surprised that the number was that high.
Now there's gonna be some players that fluff the numbers, like you coming back from rehab.
Right.
But still, like you said, that's still a high number because everybody say like that quote unquote street ball is not going to win you games. But these are guys that are in the playoffs, so that's
Ask Adolph Rupp.
What you say?
Ask Adolph Rupp.
Yeah, I know what could do. Yeah.
Ask Pat Riley.
I know.
So
ask him what street ball gets you.
So there's a lot of young talent out there. Like I said, it's guys out there that the average person don't know their names and they learn. Like Jordan Poole, for example, is he out here getting a blank check potentially. But again, this is another point for the casual fan. Denver ain't got no perimeter defense like that. So that's why Jordan Poole is out here getting his money. But now
we're about to try to risk it all over there with Mika Andrews and everything. Like, my nigga, relax.
Do you blame him?
Nah, I don't blame him, but that's still. I think she's already got that ring on her finger though. That nigga still like, hey, the hell that nigga. I'm about to risk it
she got a sister too. They look alike.
Yeah.
Big one.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true. Cause but now the way he was looking at those niggas, I'm like, that nigga was like, I'm about to risk it all right now.
These are also the Warriors where Steve Kerr was looking at Rose. Roz, whatever name is.
Yeah, Roz. Yeah, it's Roz. Yeah, Roz. Yeah, he was about to. Damn, I was like, damn, Steve Kerr about to risk it all. And this shit, goddamn. At least we know he in Atlanta Twinkle Toes. He know where he stand, where his line strays at though. He was like, goddamn. Steve was like, goddamn.
The way she used to giggle when your ass would wiggle.
So, that was a good call.
Great talent. So the injury bugs, of course, in playoffs is going to happen. Chris Middleton, I think that's going to be a crucial one for the Bucks. Even if they get past this first round, they ain't gonna be able to go too far with Chris Middleton dragging the leg.
True, but what is the issue with Chicago? Well, Ball is hurt again.
Yeah, no Lonzo Ball. Like you said, again, the injury bug. Like I think he's been injured almost every year in the league. To have, if you would have had Ball, White Mamba, DeRozan, and Levine, then you got something you can work with. You can switch everything and this and that and the other, and then you got Ball distributing and not having to play one-on-one. But I also will say this: the Vucevic thing, it wasn't worth it because they gave it like 2 firsts for Boots. I don't think that was worth it. He has his moments, but I don't think it's really panning out because he also don't give you that defense that you expect from as of a center. But it's the other part about it is Brooklyn and Boston and people losing their mind over this series. Like Brooklyn really had a chance.
No. We just want all of you Kobe and Michael Jordan dick suckers to keep that same energy you be having for LeBron. Keep that same energy you got for KD. That's all we saying.
Hey, changing of the guards, dog. That's what this is. It's like, okay, it's time for KD.
It's over. It's like this is the like. I don't.
What Biggie said? You rain on top with short like leprechauns.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. That fucker Paul Pierce said something like, "Yeah, we watching the changes of the guards." I'm like, "You son of a fucking bitch," but he got a point though. I'm like, "God damn." Jason Tatum is like showing you, like, "Yo, it's a new day. It's a new sheriff. It's a new sheriff in town."
He's just mad because they don't love him like Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he ain't gonna never get that kind of love though. That nigga tripping for that nigga.
He trying to do a farewell to him. He don't love you like that.
But I will tell you this too, though. But people forget again, and it's probably more the younger people. Who were the people that Durant and LeBron was taking the reins from, right? Like people forget about those people too. You know what I'm saying? Like Dwayne Wade in his prime, like Kobe, like Brandon Roy,
and
like Shaq.
KG.
KG, Ray, Ray Allen.
Ray Allen. Right. It's that time. We just at the time now.
You know what I'm saying? And people think, that these people are going to reign forever. And you got the new and improved KD because, again, Jason Tatum is another version of a guy. Like, he came in the league like 6'7", 6'8", and now he legit 6'10". Now he added on muscle. Now he added on extending his range. So now, he got the body that he can compete with these elite athletes.
And it's scary. And it's just fucking scary what he does. Mm-hmm. With ease. He does this shit with so much ease.
I will tell you this, though. There's a lot of shots from the coach's eye. There's a lot of damn shots. It's like, God damn it, okay, good shot. Like, it's a lot of those moments. Like, what the hell are you doing making that shit? Like,
that's called Kobe.
Yeah, but also Kobe, a lot of those times, there's a lot of those bad examples from Kobe, too. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's all Kobe. That's what I said. That's all Kobe. Mm-hmm. Kobe was already working with him. And he planted this seed in him, and just scary the fact that he's 6'10" now, with the same being that athletic at 6'10" is just
same
scary.
Well,
same hand, all that's
not that same.
But it's like but it's
similar
good for 6'10". Yeah, similar hand for 6'10". That's scary for him to be that agile for his height.
Yeah. So that's
more so for his size because.
Yeah,
we've seen that height with maybe like a Magic or even a KD, but to be that that size,
because Magic was more straightforward. It was more downhill. Shit. He left right and you step back. You know what I'm saying? Right. Pull up, has he go to the bucket. You know what I'm saying? And he's absorbing contact. KD, the only difference with KD is KD never had that same strength as Tatum has now.
He was just more athletic. He was just much quick and more athletic than everybody else. He just knew how to
push. But you can push KD off the spot.
Around spot. Well, yeah, Tim Duncan showed that enough over the years, unfortunately, and shit. That shit pissed me the fuck up. But damn, Tim Duncan was just that dude. It just is what it is when it came to that, boy.
So
Brooklyn, like you said, at the end of the day, Brooklyn still ain't had no. Like you said, I don't know. Like you said, why people thought they had a chance. They would have had more of a chance if Simmons would have got his ass on the court.
Exactly. That's what I was going to get to next. So I hope they play it smart. You play the long game. You understand that if you got Ben back with that lineup, it makes a major difference. It takes some pressure off of KD and Kyrie defensively and offensively as far as being a distributor. And he can, play in the paint because then he can really play like he's supposed to and play fucking power forward.
Right.
So I hopefully they take it back, and just go in the offseason and understand, okay, now we're gonna have a full fledged because to me it ain't worth it out. Like, don't play him at this point. You know what I'm saying? Mess around and be like Uncle Elroy with your back and be fucked up for the rest of your life. So go ahead and maintain that, rest it, come back next season and then have their run because the other part about it, when KD got hurt, that was the other part. Like, I kind of wish, I don't know what their draft pick looked like, they traded him away, but once KD hurt that knee, it wasn't worth them making the playoffs. They were so far behind. And then the whole Kyrie thing, too, it was just, it was a mess. But,
who still got better of the deal, Philly or Brooklyn?
I still say Brooklyn.
Me too.
You get the picks, you get Drummond, you get Simmons, and Seth Curry. Now the problem is that
this year, it didn't look beneficial for this particular team. But next year, the
long term, and that's what people. I got an argument with somebody.
I've got an argument too with somebody too.
Well, they got they got the best player, quote unquote, best player in James Harden. But guess what? It's not just the trade ain't just because what he started talking about is like how they look on the court. I was like, I don't give a damn what they look on the court, money wise. Draft pick wise, filling in holes that you're missing as far as getting the big, depending if you get that matchup against Embiid, you're gonna need a Drummond to foul and do that shit. So yes, it looks James Harden is the best player. Yes, he is. But guess what? I'd rather I'll swap out a James Harden that don't want to be here for a Seth Curry, Ben Simmons, and Andrew Drummond, and 2 first-round picks.
In the bigger picture. And I still think James Harden see his better days.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, they got Brooklyn. Philadelphia got 2 seasons. And that's tops.
The window is short.
Yeah,
Right.
very short window.
Like if they don't win it next year,
that's why I was horrified with the fact that James Harden could potentially opt out and re-sign for max.
He ain't getting no max. After what he's showing right now, nobody's not stupid enough to give him.
The GM is his girlfriend. It's the boy from the Rockets.
If that dude that fucking stupid, well, guess what, then? Good for fucking Philly, and watch the hate in Philly build even more.
And guess what's gonna happen? Embiid gonna be in New York.
You know what? That's a fucking fucked up possibility too. God damn, that's some fucked up shit to say. But you may be right.
Embiid gonna be in a press conference, and James doesn't pass me the ball anymore.
Right?
Yeah, he gonna be out. He can be gone.
Good point there. Touche. Well, hey, good for you. That's all I can say. Good for you. Then if that's the case.
I mean, it'd probably be too late, but
Yeah, it might be too late, but hey, it is what it is, though. So that's the East. What? Ain't nobody else we need to talk about in the Eastern Conference.
But the West, I want to get into is the New Orleans Pelicans Suns situation, right? So with the Pelicans still in game 2,
we got one good win. That's why I'm happy. I'm happy with the one good win.
Still game 2, but at the same time, punch a chance. Devin Booker pulled hamstring, potentially out for 2 to 3 weeks, right? So even if they win, that's it messes with their bigger picture. But Brandon Ingram dropping 37, CJ McCollum having a big game 1, big game 2. But it's the fact that they here without Zion says a lot.
Yeah, that's coaching. And the Willie Green pickup was a great move.
I don't know what it is that they're missing.
They're missing the easy buckets. No.
Easy buckets.
Well, experience too with the turnovers. The turnovers goes to experience because they got a lot of foolish turnovers or bad shots. But Zion is going to be that guy that either gets an offensive rebound put back or get those quick cuts, those little baseline cuts, and gets he gets 20 points a game with no plays being called for him. True. So that's what they get it. And then you got CJ McCollum that when stuff break down, you can ISO him, get a bucket. And then you got BI where if you got a mismatch, he can get a bucket too. And he can distribute the ball. So
and we're doing this with 3, and we like this. We've been affected with 3 rookies.
Yep.
That ain't got no business doing what they're doing right now.
But guess what they all love to do? Play defense.
Yes.
And that's the key. Because Willie Green
get it from their coach.
Defensive guy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They get it from the guy, and they get it from their coach. Exactly. That's what I said. They get that energy from the coach.
He went to a mid-major. He had to grind his way in the league. So he's going to preach hard work. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And he stayed with a crispy cut. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. I don't know who his barber is in the city, but he stayed crispy.
You know what I'm about to find? I'm gonna see if there's one of my boys. Cause my boy, he cuts all the hair, all the celebrity hairs through Hollywood. They come. I want to. Jim. His name's Jimmy. Not Dre, but Jimmy. It's another. He went to Abe too, though. It's another one. But you know Dre too. Yeah, you remember Dre? So there, good. Dre in Houston though. Dre in Houston.
Gotcha.
He live in Houston now. But now my other boy Jimmy though, he come out here too from time to time. He does all the celebrity hair in that come through Hollywood. Trey, he done Trey songs. The whoever fucking doing a movie in New Orleans that's black, he's doing it. He cut it. Yeah, he got him. So I'm wondering if really doing him. So I gotta, taking care of him. I'm gonna check his IG and see if he has been, because he's been on point. It's just really out here looking like a problem, but the team is actually going in the right direction. And we got the Lakers pick too.
Yep.
Going, we got the lottery pick.
And you might be able to flip that.
Right. If
Bradley Beal, where you at?
Jones barbecue and foot massage.
Don't do that. Don't
foot massage.
Don't say such shit like that, man. Because we got
the picks
too now. Hey, how
CJ 1 point. CJ at point, Bill at the 2, BI at the 3.
You motherfucker. Don't get me excited like this. Don't play with my emotions. This might be a great summer.
2K trades. But let's take a quick break.
Oh shit, you fuck me up, man.
We can come back on that and we can
read. All right, next up, we're gonna do our review on my latest rendition of my namesake, the Batman. Mixed reviews across the board, whether it's your neighbor, your friend, the critics and such. Of course, I'm gonna be biased. So, Jimmy, I want to start with you. What was your high level? You know, what?
I want Ty King to start.
Ty King, go ahead then.
Ty King start with this
one. What I'm gonna say is this: we needed Christopher Nolan to continue this. He's the only one that got Batman right. Just once again, we're back to the old BS of Batman again. It's just too long. I ain't gonna say it was too long. Yeah, it was too goddamn long. 45 minutes of unnecessary material. How the hell you gonna pick a good Alfred, but you don't have Alfred enough in the movie? Like, what the hell? I like the person they picked as Alfred, and you don't even give a man enough time on here. You don't give us a better outlook of how he became. Give us a new look of how he became. They did to a certain extent, but it went backwards with it.
Yeah.
Don't start us off the rip here, and then go back and then show us and all that. Why not have that in the beginning? Build up the story that leads up to something. I think the storyline was, once again, DC dropped the ball with another suck-ass storyline. Still, was I entertained? Yes, I was entertained, but it was a lot of, unfortunately, dead film that didn't really need to be there. I think the cast overall was good. They actually picked a lot of good people.
Love Penguin.
They had to play, overall, all the people they cast was good people, but I just think it was a bad storyline. The writing of the movie was not the best, but they picked all the right people, though. I will say that. I like I like this version of the Batman. I do like him playing Batman.
I will say this, like you was talking about the storyline. Based on the rumors that are coming up, if they do what they so-called claim they're going to do, and I'm explaining a couple things coming up, it makes sense. Because again, you're looking at a three-peat as far as movies you're going to do and or shows. So supposedly the Penguin's going to have a TV show on HBO.
Okay.
All about the Penguin or based around the Penguin, right?
And I like the Penguin. And I like the guy. I like the person they picked as the Penguin.
Who is that? Who is that? Colin
Farrell. Loved it.
So
didn't even think, I forgot all about that with Colin Farrell. That he did. Yeah. He looked so not him. He didn't look nothing like him, but outstanding.
So you can kind of accept the movie as is for that. 1, 2, and if you watch, did you watch the deleted scene for the Joker? If you go on the app and you go below the movie, it's a 5-minute clip of a scene they took out for the Joker, but you got the Joker at the end of the movie. So that's obviously going to be in part 2. Riddler's is not done. And so, yes, taking the movie for as it is again, the setup and the hope that they're going to do right the rest of the way. And we've seen what have happened in the past with DC movies. Like, in theory, if you do X, Y, and Z, you got something to work with, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem.
Right, that's the problem. They never get it right. They don't. They sometimes go in the right direction, but they find some kind of way to fumble it and fuck it up.
And this is my problem with this movie. It just seems like everything that was going just right with it, they just found something to fuck up. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of nitpicking with me. There's just a lot of nitpicking with me but the nitpicking adds up, and that's what makes it. So it's not that it's a bad movie. I'm not gonna say it's bad.
Right. I didn't say it was bad neither. Yeah, I didn't say it's bad neither.
I'm just saying there was just a lot of little shit. Just a lot of little shit, right? Like the scene when they chasing with the Batmobile and everything's blowing up and all like that, right? Awesome fucking scene, right? even the scene where he's upside down and he sees him coming, he sees Batman coming. Where you fuck it up is at that very end of the scene where Batman opens the door and he's like, it's like that little kid, like, hello, motherfucker. Like,
yeah,
okay, that's
right.
Like that you could have cut off, right? Here's another thing I don't understand. When the fuck did Batman start knocking on doors? When did that become a thing?
Good
Like
call.
I never. When the fuck did that?
Well, no. The other part about that is like you're forcing some stuff. So like those twins that was working security, they was trying to force them to get seen. Like we got to show these twins. Like for what? They ain't nobody. Who nephews these is? Like you know
it's
what I'm
in
saying?
the comic book, right? Like I get that, but it's just kind of like you said, you're just shoehorning it in, right? You're just trying to make a point with it, and that's my point. Like, so, for example, Zoe Kravitz.
Kravitz, yeah. So Zoe,
she's Catwoman, right? Because she's a cat burglar, but did she really cat burglar anything?
Technically, yes. When she broke
one
in
time, she was
get the
so then she should
passport.
Be she should be Catwoman. She should be breaking and entering woman because she didn't actually steal anything. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
dog. It's just
they didn't. But she did mention at the end. Remember at the end? But she also said at the end. So maybe it's like the early stages. Because remember at the end, she was like, "We could be Bat and Cat." You know what I'm saying?
That kind of shit, dog.
They did a bad introduction. There was a bad introduction to make her Catwoman.
No, her being Catwoman, yes,
outstanding. Yes, exactly.
Because I think she has this kind of. She has, and I'm gonna say this, with all due respectfully.
Hey man, she's 34 years old.
She looks like a porn star, right? And what I mean by that is she does not necessarily have to be naked for her to be sexy. Does that make sense?
So hold that. So remember the scene when Batman was in the ice lounge and like he recognized the boots. Like recognized the walk.
he thought it was her.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, at the funeral, like that. Like just her essence,
right?
Yeah, her presence,
right. Like it doesn't like she's sexy, but it's not raunchy kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And it's not like she's forcing it either.
Yeah. She's just
that's why they picked.
I get that.
Right, they picked.
That's another pick. Like you said, the Alfred pick was. I mean, right. Why haven't we gotten this right? Everything else, even fucking Jeffrey Wright is dog. Commissioner. Right, I was actually interested in Commissioner Gordon for a change, right? Like
he did a great. Because we talked about him in the past, like as far as his skill set and his range as an actor.
His range is it's unreal. It's his range is beyond crazy.
So it's a lot of nitpicking like that, but also I'm gonna be honest with you. The last 45 minutes of that movie, I did not need.
It was. That's what I'm saying. It was unnecessary.
When he went and he saw the Riddler and they had that little conversation, the movie could have ended there. That could have been the end of it for me. Mm-hmm. I think it just feels like you shoehorned this other little thing to make it like an epic scale. And again, when the fuck did Batman be the symbol of hope? That's never been a thing. Batman has never been the symbol. Now again, I'm fanboy nitpicking this shit, right? But the whole symbol of hope thing, that's been a Superman thing. That's never been Batman thing. When Batman show up,
because they were doing it right. They was doing it right in the beginning when they kept referring to him as Vengeance. Yes. You're trying to make him a hero too fast.
Yes.
Yep.
That is a longer greater evolution to where he's supposed to be old man.
Because again, this is year 2. Like they say multiple times. Yeah. This is year 2 of him being Batman, and that's the thing. But going back at King to the length of the movie. So there's 3 animated movies / video games that they're stealing from that made this movie, and 2 of them is like called Long Halloween, and the first murder happens on Halloween night, and the guy he murders every holiday for like a full year. It's 2 fucking movies and it's like 6 hours. Mm-hmm. So like they try to force all this stuff into one movie. That's why this shit was fucking 3 hours. 1, And then they brought in the Arkham part of it too. And it's like you said, they kind of forcing and shoehorning where, like you said, they probably could have ended the movie way earlier and just made a second movie.
True way. Our Christian Bale
Lord
version.
of the Rings.
Hey, our Christian Bale version of Batman was all 3 hours apiece, but it was outstanding all fucking 3 times. Fucking standing from start to finish.
And look, I am reserving. I'm going to reserve some right to come back and rejudge it again at a later date, because, like you said, because I'm thinking about Batman Beyond, right, and then I'm thinking about what we got hit with the Dark Knight. Whoa, right? Like, so I can see the setup for that coming if they do it right. Especially with, like you said, the Joker, because I think it's the dude from the Eternals. Damn, man, I can't think of the dude's name, but he looked like a little kid. Like, he's a grown ass man, but he looked like he was in the Eternals movie.
Well, with the Joker too, I like this different version of the Joker. So remember, in the past, the Joker versions have been always the Jokers are creating his own entity. This is the version of the Joker from like the cartoons where Batman, I think, because remember he was like, "This is our anniversary." Well, you haven't seen the extra scene, but basically he was like, "Oh, this is our 1 year anniversary." Yeah, this and that and the other. So like, it's basically because like based on his look and stuff, and like he got patches of hair missing. It's the version of the Joker where Batman was chasing him and he accidentally dropped him or knocked him into the acid pool. So is that version, and not necessarily the Joker that went crazy for whatever other reason. So this is that particular version. So it's going to be more intimate, like on the cartoons, with the Batman and Joker relationship. And that's why basically Batman went to the Joker and asked him, okay, and send him the file about the Riddler. Like, what's up with this dude? What's his thing? You know what I'm saying? The Joker was like, you think I get off on this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? They had their little back and forth. So yeah, go back and watch that kind of
okay, again, I'll peep that up.
Let you see the setup.
Now, again, I will say that this is the best Penguin I've ever seen. Dog. Like, this is the best version. This is like
everything about him is right.
Interested in the
Penguin. I like the version on Gotham, but it's like the fact that he was skinny and he was like a weakling type. I didn't like that part. I love
later in the seasons. I kind of liked him.
He gained power, but even just him being light and frail and that type of deal, like I just didn't like that.
But I like the Penguin being a Guido. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay,
Hey, Vengeance, suck my dick over here. Yeah.
What up? You going fucking on Tommy? Like you saying, like that shit was fucking hilarious.
World's greatest detectives don't know the difference between L and law.
So it was outstanding.
Where's fucking Spanish, man?
So that's what I said. The casting, they finally got casting right. There's one thing I will. Well, with this one is a good continuation because they did cast it right on the last trilogy of Batman also. Everything was okay. Well, like I said, I don't think nobody gonna ever touch what the late great Heath Ledger did as Joker with their last one. But they still, this was the casting wise. I just didn't like the script overall. I get it. I see it. I hope, like you said, hopefully we have a situation where 2 is better than 1. And it makes more sense, but it's just, I think it is bad to come off of the last one. I'm sorry, Christopher Nolan knowing he just raised the bar so fucking high.
You know what I feel? You know what this feels like? It feels like they gave him $100 million to make this movie, but they only gave him 20 for the first 2 hours, and then it was like, oh shit, I gotta spend all this money. And it's just like, oh yeah, make it big.
So I'm about to bring that up. So like to me, so the whole, whether it's in the comics or the video game, I remember from the whole situation where there's multiple bombs go off and the city gets cut off, even on the Gotham TV show where they get kind of cut off, and it's like
it's always the water system.
Yeah, it's the martial law. It's more water system somewhere.
It's always the water system. They poison it. Yeah. It's always the water system.
It's also the water. Every one of them is water every time. The water gonna be in effect. Yeah, it gotta happen.
maybe because of my background, the biasness, but didn't it feel like extra Katrina-y?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
like
definitely.
with the flood and we
Oh,
want to rebuild and the mayor or something.
Go to the stadium where it's safe.
Yes,
that's the last. That's the last evacuation point.
Okay, so good. Right? I wasn't tripped in.
Okay, yeah. No, okay. We all on point. We all got it.
I just felt like I said, "Why this feels so unnecessary?"
Yeah. And maybe that's why I didn't like that.
And then part of the stadium was underneath the sea level, so like the water coming in and flooding. Like, come on now.
Okay, maybe that's why I didn't like that part about it, because I was like, that whole part could have been cut because it didn't serve any purpose, like other than you're trying to redeem Batman, but Batman doesn't need to be redeemed. He's Batman.
Right. And you're shooting a black mare. Like, what the fuck is all this about? Like, you know.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like it was a bit much on that end. Like you just, like I said, it just seemed like you really wanted to shoehorn this story in. But it was like you got everything sitting there for you, right? Like the story is on point. Great story. Again, nitpicking.
Is it really nitpicking? I don't think it's
nitpicking in the sense of, well, this is nitpicking. The riddles were too goddamn simple for me.
Yeah.
Oh, too simple.
You get them on the first tries.
And maybe that's what it is. Maybe this is supposed to be the early rendition of the Riddler. And
this
at some point in time when he comes back.
I was disappointed by this Riddler.
But I'm just kind of like,
I will say that's the one when they got wrong. The Riddler is whack because the Riddler.
Yeah,
just from like being nerding out. The guy that showed up to be the Riddler looks more so like the puppeteer for the Scarface doll. Remember on the cartoon?
Scarecrow.
Yeah, with No,
not the Scarecrow. I know.
Remember the guy that had the little puppet?
Yeah, it was a little.
And he was the ventriloquist.
Oh,
yeah, because it's an older guy from the cartoon. He had the glasses.
Nerdy.
Yeah, he looked like Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, that it felt like he felt like he was been a fit for that. And not necessarily the Riddler was.
I know he was a good guy. I think they didn't present him better as a Riddler.
Yeah,
I think they picked the right person. I think they picked the right person. Yes. He played it right, but it's just the fact, like you said, I think the presentation of him didn't sit well.
Because they tried to present him as, or they tried to throw people off and try to present him as Calendar Man as well as the Riddler. And that's what
Calendar Man and what's the other dude, like the pig dude, the one that was like chopping people up.
Shit, I know what you're talking about, but I can't.
Because he's like a Batwoman and
yeah.
So that's what I thought it was, because I felt like I thought, well, it still may be a possibility. I felt like it was like there's one version of it where the Riddler is puppeteering somebody and presenting him as the Riddler and setting him up. You know what I'm saying? So like that's.
Remember, because he was one of the kids. Yeah, because he acted like he was one of the kids and the thing.
Because the Riddler
maybe could have gotten his hit.
Because the thing, the Riddler wasn't offering. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's throwing me off. I kind of feel like that's a
maybe using him as
twist.
Using him as a vessel to speak on his behalf and just to throw him off even more.
Because even on the Teen Titans show that's on HBO, the Riddler uses Red Hood and kind of sets him up as the fall guy and stuff like that. So it's like I said, that's a possible twist, or they, like you said, or they could just.
Wait, was that Riddler or was that Scarecrow? Because he used the gas on him, right?
You're right. It was Scarecrow.
That was Scarecrow.
It was Scarecrow. You are correct. You are correct. So Riddler. I don't know. Now I go back. Yeah, good job. Good job.
Research department.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Scarecrow, because his mom was a psychologist.
So
that's why the Scarecrow thing pans out.
Right.
Riddler, I don't really know what Riddler's background was, other than him either
he really never had a
he used
Forensic Sciences.
Yeah, that's basically it. He worked at Wayne Enterprises in one of the storylines. One of the storylines, I think. He was like a forensic something. Yeah. There've been different ones with that. I don't know if they ever did like a backstory.
But he's always based. Yeah, he's always based off a grown man. He's always been based off of just being grown, and he was just fed up with how things was
disgruntled, and then should go around from there. But I don't know.
That's why this
backstory.
This backstory was that kind of threw me off about this. That's why I said story writing of this one threw me off, because I'm like you said, I don't remember him ever being an orphan or anything. And they showed the picture of him as a kid and all this when he was at.
Well, but then the first Batman game was the Joker being the one that killed Batman's parents, which we found out that was so I guess
it's never true again in any timeline or comic from that point on. Speaking of,
but that's Batman in '86 though, so that's a different timeline than that time. Different universe.
Exactly. Different.
Speaking of villains, so the thing I liked about this movie is the potential of bringing in the Court of Owls as the villains. So that could be the potential villains in part 2 or part 3. The potential of Ra's al Ghul coming back and being a newer and better version and bringing his daughters, or I hope both of his daughters in, bringing in Damian Wayne. Like it's so many things. Well, yeah, no, you can do Damian because he's young, you know what I'm saying? He fucking. So like, you know what I'm saying? So
that's another thing. I didn't like, so I like Robert Pattinson as it. I just didn't like Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne.
Bruce. Yeah, like him as Batman was great.
This
him
shit
as Bruce Wayne was horrible.
This emo shit, shit with the hair in his face. Like that shit killing me.
Hey, he looked like he was straight proto grunge from Seattle.
Yes,
exactly. Right.
Like he should be up there singing Teen Spirit or some shit. Like,
you know.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good call. I know they're trying to keep it dark, bro, but you took it too far.
Yeah, bro.
Good call. Hey, good call on that. So I heard a lot of people complain, it's dark and it's not bright and colorful like Marvel. Nigga, it's Gotham.
Well,
right, Gotham is always dark. That's what I'm saying.
It's always raining.
Everything about things is dark. It's grimy. It's supposed to be grimy. That's what
this ain't the Bay like Shanghai or whatever. Right. Like you in Gotham, you in New York, you in the rats, you in the drop heads and stuff like that.
Yes, right. You in the dirty of the dirty. That's why Batman was the way he was. Because
and get you a better TV because everything looked good on my TV. You know what I'm saying? So like get you a better TV as well.
Well, here's the thing, and this is again being a fanboy and nerd, right? So there's 2 ways that you can tell these kind of superhero stories. You can either try to make them. You can try to tell the story as if it fits the real world, or you can try to make the real world fit that story, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it that's how you get this where it looks like it's the real world because it looks like it could be in New York or something
or
like
Chicago,
that, right? Or Chicago.
It's New York or Chicago all day.
Yeah, something like that. Whereas
they keep filming it in Chicago. They keep filming it in Chicago though at the end of the day.
And that's the thing.
But
the original, the Nolan one, the Nolan one was a lot brighter because they filmed it in the city, right? So it was dark, but you got to see sunlight at some point.
You're right.
And like that one there, like that, but that's different. That's where it's trying to tell you the story as if, like, okay, I'm trying to sell you on this being a world, right? Like, the sun does set.
He don't want to show the grimy side. He don't want to show the grimy. That's all they were trying to do. Christopher did a great balance, though. That's the thing. Like once again. He gave you the dark and he gave you the light. He had the transition of you saw Bruce Wayne legit looking like he is Bruce Wayne and you got Batman.
Yeah.
Once again, now we go this time I think they're trying to go too dark. I think they went too dark too quickly.
So like they say, they make it like a horror movie, but like that's what I was saying with the Court of Owls. You can make some horror type shit and keep it dark. If that's the path that you're going to go, you can go with that. You can go with the Ra's al Ghul. You can go with so many of the criminals that can make it dark.
I think that's the route they're going. I think that's the route they're going to go. I think they're going to keep this dark all the way through.
Damn it, I just lost.
Because there ain't going to be no it ain't going to be no Marvel shit here. I don't know why would you even think Marvel. First of all, when you looking at this these are 2 different entities.
Hey, look. Niggas, you want an old Jay-Z, go buy the old Jay-Z.
Like
if you want a Marvel movie, go watch a Marvel movie.
This
ain't a Marvel movie.
This is it's Batman. It's like he's a key. He was born in the cave.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
Again, I just thought of my thought too. Well, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say another thing that and it's probably me working in a movie theater. If you don't have the sound system at home or you're not watching a movie theater, it's something you might miss. The whole when he played the Batman theme and how he's walking out of the shadows and how it's with the beat, like that whole, like that vibration of
vibration
the
for fear. Yes.
Like that shit is crazy. Like even with the video games, like your controller.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because like you see the people looking around when they see it was dark at night. They see the bat, the bat signal up there, and you hearing him walking. And they looking through the dark. They see they see the dark tunnel right there. They think they're gonna come through. Yeah, they like all that. That was on point. And I like the fact there's gonna be a dark, grimier version. I'm cool with it being the dark. Just give me a better storyline. That's all I ask for. Like, I like the griminess of it. I like the darkness. I'm cool with all that.
But see, I don't completely agree. I think the storyline was not about Batman. I think that's the problem for most people.
Probably so.
The storyline is around Falcone, Catwoman, and Thomas Wayne.
Yeah,
so like
but
it's again,
introduction ain't bad. Yeah, it's a bad
foundation because
it's not a Batman story; it's a Gotham story.
Exactly,
and it's right. I guess right.
Yeah, and again, so that's the part that I think people, because they keep thinking that everything they're gonna learn about, like you were talking about Alfred. They got Alfred right, and I think Alfred, because the reason, like to me, I think it's very intentional to just call him Mr. Pennyworth. What was his last name? Pennyworth, right?
I think it's
Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah, so like he got his own TV show on HBO, which is a different guy. Which that's something else I don't like either. That it's all different people playing these different characters anyway.
Well, that's DC problem. That's DC problem.
But like I think that's very intentional, and I think that's going to potentially come up in later episodes as far as 2 or 3. But I do think, like you said, it's a Gotham story and not necessarily. It's a lot of backstory about Penguin.
True.
Falcone, talking about how he got shot and Thomas Wayne do the surgery and this and that and nothing, the whole mayor situation. Like it's all about them and Catwoman too, and not really about Bruce Wayne.
Well, you know what? I wish, then if that's the case,
don't call it Batman. Call it Gotham.
But they said,
but you can't call it Gotham because there's already a TV show with that name.
Well, true. No, you could have just said the Batman, the Gotham City, something. The twist, just something more adding Gotham.
You're not gonna say Gotham City either, because you know where that brings you back to. Gotham City.
Damn. No, they ain't worried about that nigga. They can't even worry about that Negro. Like, yo, he ain't got nothing to do with this though.
But it's gonna make its way around at some point. But here's again, it's just like I said, it's like a lot of nitpicking with the story. So like even then for me, when the fuck did all these kids become so goddamn disrespectful, dude? Like, when did Batman start talking to Alfred like that? When did Superman start talking to his daddy like that? Like, when the fuck did this start happening where they just start handling their parental figures? Like, just talking to them kind of way and shit.
Well, this is the leftness of freaking DC reaching. They try so hard to try to compete with Marvel. Just stay in your lane. You can't do what Marvel done. Marvel got it right. They succeeded to the highest level of what we would ever expect any comic book reaction with. They got it right. And you can't compete with that.
And only because by the time people realized what Marvel was doing, we was already too deep into it.
Yeah, it was Jerry. You can't. Yeah, you ain't nothing you can do. But you know what? You should have figured this out when they did Captain America.
Right.
The first Captain America, right there, showed you how to do this right.
But they didn't. But you didn't see it coming, and that's what I'm saying. By the time you saw it coming, it's so far. It's. By the time you saw what Marvel was doing, it was so old that if you tried to do it, it doesn't even look good anymore. Because we've seen better now. Because Marvel kept going.
Right.
So even to try to go all the way back to start with a Captain America or to start with an Iron Man, to start like that with those, because those movies are cool. But even in like the first Captain America doesn't really have a lot of rewatch. The first Iron Man doesn't, right? Like it's cool, but it's not.
I could watch the first Captain America. Iron Man, no, I can't. Captain America, I can't.
You can rewatch it, but you can rewatch it, but
it's not something you will put. You will put Winter Soldier on before you would do the first Captain America.
Agreed.
Right?
That's true.
And that's what I mean. Marvel eventually started evolving to the point where if you tried to do that bullshit, it's already too late now. It's old technology at this point, right? Because we passed that. And that's DC's problem. They're trying now to catch up, but then you rushed it because you tried to do this Batman versus Superman and that whack-ass Justice League that you did that kind of made up for it with the Snyder cut, but even then, that still wasn't good.
You should have did the Snyder cut first, and you'd have been all right.
But again,
they should have just took their time and let every character.
But again, his personal situation kind of threw everything left field.
Oh,
so remember that too.
But they was rushing it anyway. They was rushing
the other part about it too with DC, the animated movies they have built kind of similar to Marvel. Right. They have the DCU. And like I said, I think I'm hoping that's where they're going because they stole 3 movies from the animated version and made it into the Batman.
Make sense.
I make sense.
Yeah, but like you can't. Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, because you can't go off the casual. Like I'm more of a casual watcher. I'm not going to go that in depth of watching the cartoon
and that's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem. See, you can do that in a Marvel movie because we've had 15-something years of history, right, so you can pull from. With DC, you can't just do those kind of movies. See, you're trying to do Winter Soldier movies now without giving us the first Avenger, right? And that's the point. You're trying to catch up to Marvel. But we don't have time to do this 15 because nobody's not gonna hang in there for 15 years of DC moves, especially trying to figure out.
You can't make a left hand layup, but you trying to do step back threes.
Right.
Yeah. So see
the White Howard trying to shoot 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm. I'm working on my post game.
Yeah.
You are you in your 8th year in the league already. You're like, come on now, relax. So I mean that makes sense there. That's why I think that's what the catch is. But overall, will I watch it again? Yes.
Entertaining movie.
Yeah, it's still entertaining enough for me to watch again. But like I said, I think just the 3 hours still. I had to pace myself to be mentally prepared to do 3 hours.
Because my homeboy was giving me shit. Like, why the hell you didn't watch it? Why didn't you watch it yet? I'm like, look, this ain't something you can just turn on when you going to bed at night.
Right.
You got to be mentally prepared.
We got to clear out. You got to clear out a schedule for this.
We set up the whole day on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? We made pizzas. You know what I'm saying? Got some snacks. Got some popcorn. Man,
you know I made sure I took a nap midday yesterday. Yep. I was making sure I was up all extra late to watch this, and I wanted to watch it and I made sure I wanted to watch it at night in the dark. So
nigga,
look, I want to be.
Look, I went to the dispensary. I rolled like 8 blunts. Like I was,
he said 8.
I was prepared for this movie.
Right.
I'm gonna be here for a minute.
Rolling because I'm like broken arms.
Right, because I'm looking at I'm seeing the trailer and everything. I'm seeing all the darkness. So I was like, I gotta watch this in the dark. I gotta make sure I'm mentally prepared for this. And it was just like, okay. That's all I can say.
And that's the problem because you it's already a dark movie. It kind of moves a little slow too, so you'll mess around and either get distracted with something else, especially somebody if you're one of the people like me, somebody send you a something on Instagram and now you just keep scrolling. So that can happen to you real easy on like the first hour of the movie.
Right. That's why I made sure to watch it. That's why I watched it around 10 o'clock. Last night. I want to make sure I had I wanted no kind of distractions or anything to actually watch it. So that's why I waited extra late.
The last thing I want to add to it is it's more of a detective. Like you said, that's a great call. My thing was I wrote down it was more of a detective movie, but you're correct as far as saying it's more of a Gotham movie. Gotham horror stories than just the Batman. So, but I like the fact that it's going to be more around him and doing his detective work and his technology that he showed. And that's what I'm saying. Like Ra's al Ghul can probably come back, because he always refers to him as a detective. So,
and that's why I didn't like that last part about it because up until that point he was the detective, right? The world greatest detective.
Then you changed
and then now you making him this kick-ass kung fu artist, right?
Yeah.
All right, come on.
And I'm glad once you said that it was more of a Gotham, it
makes more sense.
Yeah, it made more sense, and it made me back off now of my disappointment of it. It made me now look at it at least to be a little more of seeing it in a more different light now, and I'll go back and watch it again.
But there's so many stories that's going to come from it. That's why I'm giving it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna hold off on it.
Right, and that makes a lot more sense because you did have too many storylines trying to go on at one, which now I can respect that a little bit better now, and I can want to.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in this week. I know we've been out for a couple of weeks, summertime, everybody get out in these streets now. But want to give a shout out and a thank you to Terry and T.J, the Michigan Panthers. Good luck to Terry in the draft on Thursday. Hopefully we'll hear his name one way or another. Same for T.J as far as getting back into the league as well. I think we're going to do a Thursday night, draft night. Maybe like a recap of the top 10 picks.
Just do the top 10. Yeah, top 10. I can see that. That's a good call. Do a top 10.
So I know there's going to be a lot of uncertainty of since there's no quarterbacks, quote unquote, that's a given early on. I think these teams are all over the place. So who knows?
Carolina might reach. Carolina might reach.
Yeah, but it'll be a hell of a far reach because I don't think there's a certain thing so far. So.
Right.
So yeah, so that should be interesting. And then I noticed, I'm thinking we probably pick up around when the Saints pick that 16-18 pick and see what the hell they doing. Because I think that's another team that can reach for a quarterback too. And see Jimmy and Tony's response.
Reaction. And Twin. Mm-hmm. Also. A lot of recklessness there.
But yeah, so we'll be back next week. Well, couple days.
Yeah, Thursday.
You know what I'm saying? The draft with everything happens. So it could be a lot of moves that could come up between today and the next few days. Yeah. So
my Raiders don't have a first round pick, so I ain't concerned about the draft Thursday. So I'm good.
Hey, I'm about to say, but you got the talent.
We got some finally. We're gonna see what we're gonna do with it.
You know what I'm saying? Still pick a running back in the next round 2 and 3. So
we better goddamn do that for sure.
But make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll be back in a couple of days talking football.
No doubt.
All right, later.
All right, later.